Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? One, two, the things you do in your room when you're all alone. 3, 4, you want mom or whatever cure that was. 5, 6, finding bliss when you're drunk or you're doing drugs. When you're drunk, when you're drunk, when you're drunk, when you're drunk, when you're drunk or you're doing drugs. 7, 8, feeling brave but you never really play this game. 9, 10, feels like heaven, you're crying cause you wanna stay. Quick fix, finding bliss when you feel the heartbeat inside. When you're drunk, when you're drunk, when you're drunk, when you're drunk, when you're drunk. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? When you're drunk, 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 when you're drunk. Me too, I'm just like you, and I need to fuck it up sometime. I'm stuck with ego trips, selling sex to a mother will buy. Sometimes I feel magic, then I manage to fuck up somehow. Get drunk, get drunk, get drunk, get drunk, and I'm getting high. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? One, two, the things you do in your room when you're all alone. In your room when you're all alone. 3, 4, you want mom or whatever cure that was. Or whatever cure that was. 5, 6, finding bliss when you're drunk or you're doing drugs. When you're drunk, 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 when you're drunk. Do you believe in magic?
Ibland känner jag magin, men jag lyckas ändå fucka upp.
Me too, I'm just like you, and I need to fuck it up sometime. I'm stuck with ego trips, selling sex to a mother will buy. Sometimes I feel magic, then I manage to fuck up somehow. Get drunk, get drunk, get drunk, get drunk. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic?
It used to be luck. You used to be funny. We used to have time. Time without money. We used to feel bad. We used to look sad. We used to have luck. And time without money. We seem to have the time it took. We used to have our things in place. Now real meaning have come too deep. Forgotten what you used to say. We used to have time. We used to be careless. We used to look sad. But we couldn't care less. We seem to have the time it took. We used to have our things in place. Now real meaning have come too deep. Forgotten what you used to say. Do you feel it? We used to feel this. Do you
You got me feeling like a firebolt high in the sky, looking like a thunderstorm. Oh, here we go, 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 go. You're easy to remember, so hard to forget. Baby, baby, it's a coward way you strut. How could I not worship every inch your feet have touched? Baby, run away with me. You kill it lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe there's only one of you, baby. Run away with me. Don't leave me lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe. There's no more clouds on the freeway. Now tell me you'll stay. Stay. Gonna now and last someday. Here we go, go, go. Rose bed, fancy hotels, girl, you know. Baby, run away with me. You kill it lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe there's only one of you, baby. Run away with me. Don't leave me lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe. And we'll stay in bed all day. Make love in every way. Baby, run away with me. You kill the lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe. Oh, baby, run away with me. Don't leave me lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe. You make my heart believe.
Today is the beginning of the end and the start of a new beginning. Time has come to refine yourself and let go of the demons in your head that have held you in captivity for so long. It's time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will feel free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you're the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a I don't give a fuck. 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 It's time to start doing the right thing. So trust your instinct, stop listening to others, and own your decisions. People will always tell you what to do, be and how to live. So let's create space for what matters most to you. You'll be glad you did. Now start claiming your time and your mental well-being by saying no more. No more. Say it loudly and proudly. In other words, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike, you have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am back. It's me, in the flesh. I've got Halsey English in the back. We're going to bring him out here in just a second. Just wanted to say it. Welcome back to everyone. I've been gone for a week. I know you guys have missed me. I'm going to go ahead and pull Halsey out and go through the opening of the show. There's Halsey right there. Welcome, Halsey English. How are you?
Thank the Lord above. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just going to run through and welcome some of the chat. So if you just want to hang out for a minute, that'll be great. I see Siege D was first in the chat tonight, which I think he actually did that during the daytime because I put the stream up early. K2 Keep On Trucking is out in the house. Anson Knowles, nobody touched your butt, bro. Nobody did that. 13 is in the house. Silvar Ogre, as always, good to see you. Effing Epic, good to see you as well. Michelle, number 1, good to see you. Damien, good to see you. I know it's cold where you're at, bro. I'm sorry to hear that. Silvar Ogre, good to see you. I've already said that. I'll say it again. TR Finley, welcome back, man. It's been a minute. El Shipo Dago, good to see you as well. My man Sirius Shelby is in the house. Hope you're training. Well, you're in A school, right? I think you're in A school. All right, so I hope that's going well for you. And Michelle number 2 is in the house, which they're interchangeable. Michelle versus Michelle. Smoking Spaceman, I see you out there. And obviously we've got the bot WMD out there to keep order. And we got some serious people out there in the house tonight, already popping off, already having some conversations. I did send the link, as always, to Andrew, Brian, Glenn, and the rest of the crew, except for Flow State. I forgot him. That's okay. We'll leave him till later. Imperius is in the house. I see you there, buddy. Fredo Fonzarelli, good to see you. Flow State, my man. How you doing, brother? It's been a minute. Big Jake's Ranch, good to see you. Everyone, welcome back. I was gone for a week to DebateCon. DebateCon was awesome. DebateCon was only 2 days, but it took me a couple of days to get there and back. Also had a bunch of stuff going on. My guest tonight is Halsey English. He is a podcaster, much like the rest of us. Although I did notice that your videos have kind of fallen off lately. We're going to get into that. But he seems like a good guy, and we are going to have a great show tonight, I'm sure. If you could, Halsey, if you could just give us a quick intro, man, that'd be great.
Sure. I wish I knew you were at DebateCon. It's about 10 minutes from my house. I would have come over and said hello.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, no, I was actually going to. I haven't been feeling well. I had the flu. So I actually didn't make it, but I was going to go see Andrew over there. So, Andrew Wilson.
You may see him over here tonight if he's bored.
Oh, Andrew hangs out?
Yeah, Andrew considers this one of his chill streams. So if he has time and he's not really doing anything and he's not ragged out from whatever, he'll drop in randomly. He probably won't tonight, dude. That dude he's been going. So I don't know if he's had enough caught up on enough sleep yet, but
Gotcha.
But hopefully he he might drop in. You never know.
I hear you. So anyway, I'm a YouTuber. I've been on YouTube for about 6-7 years. You see my videos drop off because I've been concentrating more on Twitter Spaces lately. I find a lot more engagement, a lot more interaction with my audience. So I've been having a lot of fun with them, but it takes a lot more hours, so I don't get to broadcast as much. I'm a geopolitical analyst. I focus on the Middle East and Europe and somewhat Russia. Expert in the Far East as well. Let me think, what else? I'm a blacksmith. I'm a gunsmith. It's what I do for little extra bucks here and there. And mostly you could just find me online. It's what I do.
Awesome. Very good. So you mostly pay attention to politics in U.S. versus Europe and basically Eurasia, it sounds like. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
So I focus on U.S. politics, but my focus has always been on the Middle East, East and Southern Europe.
Okay,
but it's as it relates to America. So it's more a study of American policy overseas.
You do consider yourself a Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, undecided? Where do you fall political spectrum?
When I feel pretty left wing, I would consider myself a Republican. But
okay.
But other than that, no, I'm
so you're like a serious libertarian then.
I wouldn't say I'm a libertarian. I would say that I'm very socially conservative. I'm very fiscally conservative, but at the same time, I'm not completely libertarian. I'm more of a minarchist.
Okay. Yeah. So one of my good YouTube friends, and should be more I guess on the show more. Fabian Liberty Scott. He is an anarcho-capitalist, and by definition, if you're going to be libertarian, you have to be farther right than Republican.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the government is just inherently evil, and the less of it we have, the better. Yeah. But I accept that there's plenty of things that we do need in forms of government. So,
okay. I mean, I'm a constitutional conservative. I believe if it's not in the Constitution, then it wasn't meant to be there. And although we can amend it with a majority of the citizenry, not a few politicians, I don't think that that it should be very easily changed. And I believe mostly in states' rights. I believe that what works here in Tennessee should not work in Florida, and we shouldn't tell those guys what to do, and they damn sure better not tell us what to do.
I couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more. That's
awesome. Good stuff right out of the gate. I see the chat is alive, which is great. Chat. I did forget my grift speech, but they know what to do. They know how to do it. Well, great. What do you think about if I were to say something along the lines of, I can't wait till Zelensky goes to prison for being an illegitimate dictator installed by the CIA during a coup by the Obama administration. What would your response to that be?
I'd probably tell you that you should just keep waiting because it's not going to happen. But at the same, look, Zelensky's not a good guy, but you know what he is? He is a guy who knows where all the bodies are buried.
Well, so, okay, good. Yeah, I can go with that. I can go with that. It's very interesting that while people were clamoring for the legally elected politician Putin to be removed, they had no problem with the guy who came to power in a coup and suspended elections staying in power. I thought that was just fucking awesome of the United States of America to do, because that's typically what we don't do. But whatever.
I mean, if you ever want to feel better about international relations, right, the best thing to do is stop thinking that anyone actually cares about democracy, because they don't. And we don't even care about it here so much. I know that we like to pretend that we do, and we like to pretend that like this open system where the citizens get to decide everything. That's just not true. And the idea that we would like Zelensky because Ukraine is so super democratic, and we would dislike Russia because Russia is super authoritarian, it's always been nonsense. And I mean, in the Soviet Union, they had elections. In Iran, they have elections.
Sure.
You know, it's just a question of, when you look at politics from a moral point of view, you're doomed for disappointment, because countries don't have morals. Countries have principles, but they mostly have interests. So
yeah, countries have laws. Sounds good. Countries have laws.
Laws exist for your own citizenry. They don't exist for your interest overseas. Your interests overseas are based on self-interest and self-interest only. So that's people that go, well,
very true. It's very true.
When people go, it's super immoral that we would support Putin over Zelensky because Ukraine is, and then they'll list all the virtues of Ukraine that aren't true, and we'll say, and Putin does this, and most of what we say about him isn't true.
Oh, Putin's a bad guy. I mean, he is a bad guy. I would not want that fucker for a neighbor, right? Like, let's just be honest. That dude is a legit killer. I mean, he's not. Yeah, he's not a nice guy, but he is a principled guy. So far, and so far, everything he said he's going to do, he's done. And when he said he wouldn't do something, he didn't do it. Zelensky, on the other hand, is absolutely opposite. He is an actor. So right out of the gate, he's a fucking liar. So he's an actor. He was installed in a coup. He has no business leading a country other than the fact that he looked good in a T-shirt on TV. And it was really bad. It was just really bad form for us to do what we did, or what we have done. And let's be very honest here. And what obviously everyone is figuring out is the entire our involvement in the entire Ukrainian conflict started before there was a conflict. We engineered the conflict partially as a money grab, as a money laundering operation to line the pockets of politicians in America and other countries. And now I think that Doge is going to continue to expose that, and I think it's fucking great. It's absolutely crazy to think otherwise. Now, And that's great. That gives me a really good insight into, yeah. El Sheepo
Well, if you want to
Dago,
have some fun, if you want to have some fun,
I
what
love
you
that.
said, what you said was actually not really correct. And I'm going to make you feel better about what you said.
Okay.
We didn't engineer any of that. In fact, we had almost little involvement in Ukraine as one could possibly have. This was engineered by Europe. And the reason it was engineered by Europe is because they wanted to completely justify increased NATO spending and increased NATO expansion because their entire country systems collapse
That was
without our
certainly
money
that
paying
was
for
certainly a
NATO.
part of it for sure. And NATO
That's why
couldn't
the
pay their
deal.
bills. Remember pre-Ukrainian war, Trump had already said we're withdrawing from NATO, and we are
Yep.
not paying one dime. Remember the speech in 2017? We're not paying a single dime until everybody else pays their fair share. He said that. He said that in the
Absolutely.
speech. He said,
Absolutely.
"Fuck all y'all." I curse a lot. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's offensive to you and
If
your
you think it
viewers.
fucking bothers me, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I didn't check. Usually I check, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, you can't have you on the show because I'm not going to change me. That's for fucking sure. And so
don't worry about it at all.
great. So way back in 2017, Trump had the speech at the world what was it? It wasn't G6. It was some other thing in Europe, and he said, "You're going to pay your fucking share." Looking at you, England. Looking at you, Germany. Looking at you, France. All you fuckers. And Germany's the biggest guilty party because they're broke as a fucking joke. Their economy's in shambles.
Their economy is in shambles, but it's not even close to as bad as France and Britain are.
Well, France is caught up, certainly, because the last 3 years they've had nothing but migrants.
But also, well, I mean, they've all had nothing but migrants. But the real issue is that what Germany is doing is spending its money. What Britain and France are doing is spending debt. So when you look at the balance sheets, Germany's not as bad off as it seems. They're not used to accumulating massive amounts of debt, whereas Britain and France, they ran out of money a long time ago. So they're basically living on welfare. Without foreign money, they would probably be crashed already.
Right. And that's actually one of the things that really scares everyone about Trump is that he's working on turning off the taps. I personally do not understand why the American taxpayer sends $300 million to England, $500 million to Germany, another $500 million to France. I don't understand that. And it's all like very nebulous, like cultural bullshit or whatever. And it's really interesting. I mean, we get literally the American taxpayer subsidizes the entire fucking world.
No, you want to hear something that's really going to infuriate you? You hear about the $300+ billion we gave to Ukraine, right?
Sure.
Now, the vast majority of it, we didn't give anything to them. What we
was
did
500 is 530 something total, but like 200 of it, 180. It depends on your accounting. Was in war material, so they didn't count that. And that amount of war material was based on its original cost back in 1945. Like if they built the bombs today, it would be like $10 billion fucking dollars to build that many bombs. But we just gave them the Ukraine. Well, yeah, just take them. They've been here.
We did even worse than that. We took all of our old crap that we were going to decommission anyway and sent it over there. Then we told Poland and most of Eastern Europe, take your old Soviet era shit, give it to Ukraine because they actually know how to use it, and we'll replace it with brandy new, beautiful American shit. So not only did we not give Ukraine any real weapons until fairly recently, but we've now gained about 20 new customers who can only survive on American military equipment.
It's true.
That was actually quite smart. So what seemed like a big boondoggle in funding was actually quite a bit of a good investment for us. But at the same time, the deal that they're talking about right now, it's been on the table for 3 years. Putin said he'd take it. Zelensky said he'd take it. Boris Johnson said if they took it, that they would lose all British support. So they put the hammer to him.
Well, Zelensky pushed for the war to start with. $2 comes in from K2 Keep On Trucking. #grift. Gripped U.S. versus Canada tomorrow. Canada's not a real country.
I tell my kids that all the time.
Canada. In Canada, the funny thing is Canada talked to all that shit the other night, and they booed during the anthem, and they got blown the fuck out. And I don't even follow hockey. Honestly, I don't care about sports at all.
Me either.
But the fact that if you're going to talk that much shit, man, and get blown out by a bunch of rednecks.
Yeah, but you know what? We got to feel for them. Like they're not used to their new national anthem yet. So they'll like it a lot more when we incorporate everyone but the French.
True. That's true. Yeah, it's really it's really interesting. So that's very interesting that your perspective on Ukraine and everything kind of really lines up with mine, because I have, to be honest with you, I've been a voice shouting into the wilderness with all of these what was it? Something fucking Ukraine. I stand with Ukraine or whatever. And I'm like, look, I like the Ukrainians. They're pretty good people, but fucking Zelensky picked this fight. Let's remember back in 2018, 2019, Putin went to Zelensky and said, look, all I want is access to the year-round deepwater port that we've traditionally had for fucking decades.
Yep.
Putin said, yeah, but, if we look at this old-ass fucking map, that's historically, that was ours.
Right.
And Putin rightly said, well, historically doesn't fucking matter. What matters is when the Soviet Union broke up, we kept this side of the line and you kept that side of the line. And for the past 50 or 40 fucking years, it's been that way, you dumbass. Putin was right about that, right? And Zelensky said, "Nah, I don't think so." Putin said, "I'm going to move tanks onto the border, and if you blink, we'll go to war."
Yep.
If you stop my trucks, if you try and charge the Russian companies that are trying to import goods to the people, if you put a tax on that, if you do anything except just let us operate our port, we're going to war.
Yep.
All Zelensky had to do was say, "Come on, man, let's get back to the peace table. We'll work this shit out."
You see, but he couldn't do that.
Yeah, he couldn't do that.
The problem is we've had the same situation that we've had since the end of World War II, is that whenever Britain and France want to go shit stirring around the world, they stir up a hornet's nest and then they call us in to clean up their mess. And that's what they did with this one, because when Zelensky came to them and said, look, I think he's serious. I think he's going to invade to get these areas that are Russian anyway. Right? Everyone there speaks Russian. The only people that don't speak Russian there are the Nazi Ukrainians that we suppose. Remember, we don't like Nazis unless
remember that those
Nazis
don't exist.
Right?
That's fake news, bro.
Oh, I know, but no, there are Nazis. Those ones, they're the good Nazis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. They're the when all of the pictures surfaced.
Right.
They couldn't deny it anymore. Those are good. The good Nazis. They're the good kind.
Yeah. Exactly. They're the anti-Russian Nazis. They're the good kind. But at that point, Britain and France figured that if they shit stirred enough and that Biden came in and flexed his muscles and said, my dick's longer than yours, that Putin wouldn't do anything. But he knew that Biden wouldn't do anything. And he knew that all he had to do was get Britain and France to commit to this whole thing, and that America would back them to the hill. And luckily, Britain and France weren't able to convince us to send troops because they wanted us to. Just like we did in Vietnam, just like we did in Korea, just like we've done all over the world whenever Britain and France get in trouble. So
I think this is correct. And I think Putin's right to do this. He's not recognizing Zelensky as the official president and leader of the Ukraine. Because, again, installed in a coup and suspended legal elections.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how they're going to get out of that one. Anson Knowles, $5 comes in from the man himself, Alabama Anson Knowles. Why the two old white guys wear hats on their Ukrainian war stream to hide the fact that Their takes are older than the Peloponnesian War. You didn't think I could pronounce that, did you, Anson? You Alabama bastard. Anson's a shit stirrer. Just ignore him. But he's actually really smart.
So I heard a really cool fact about Alabama. How do you know that the toothbrush was invented in Alabama?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because any other state, it would have been called a teeth brush.
That's true. That's very true.
I went to college in Alabama. I know the state.
Do you really? Oh, that's good,
man. I went to University of Alabama.
All right. Well, listen, we can table the Ukrainian discussion because Trump's going to sort that shit out. I'm actually surprised that Trump has not made Zelensky step down.
So he's doing it now. He's basically just treating him like a bitch. And sooner or later, like Europe will huff and puff and be upset about it. But when all's said and done, if and again, we won't get into the details of it, but if you actually take a look at what Trump is doing, he is actually reorganizing the entire United States empire in a good way, like in a way where everything, like all we've heard about for years now is our debt, our budget deficits, how we don't have enough money, we're printing, inflation, everything.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the economics and the actual alignment that Trump is doing, and I mean blatantly, openly doing, like we're set up for the next 50 years. And if things are going to get much, much better if he accomplishes even a third of it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that the interesting thing about the way Trump is going about what he's doing is he has learned to do the thing first and then force the Democrats into the defensive position where they have to commit to a side that they generically don't want to commit to. And it makes them look like fucking idiots.
Exactly.
So, it's just great. It's just great. So that's awesome, man. I'm glad that you've got those super based takes. So you're streaming mostly on X now?
It's not that I stream there. I like when I do stream on YouTube, I also simulcast to X. But
Gotcha.
X has these spaces, right? Where you start them up and just invite everybody in and start talking. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, since I work at home, I have the time to sit there because if I have to work, I just don't talk, and if I do have to work, I do talk, and and we sit there, and these spaces go on 6-7 hours, and we have a blast. Like we have 5,000-10,000 people join us over the course of like 5-6 hours, and we hear every different take. We hear experts, nobody's like. It's so much fun, and it actually feels like the definition of social media was supposed to be, that it's actually social. Like instead of like YouTube where I'm basically talking to either a guest or my audience, like it's I get to interact with everybody and people get to throw like kind of curveballs at me and it gets everybody thinking. And I'm one of those people, I talk to everybody. Okay, like I don't know how much background our mutual friend Anson's upset. He must be an Auburn fan.
Yeah. $5 from Anson. Why do they think Halsey English invented the toothbrush? Because the stream stinks so bad, he must have been the first guy desperate to brush something. That's actually almost funny, Anson. You almost got the right amount of ratio of alcohol to brain cells.
Yep.
I'm kidding, Anson. I know you're not drinking.
But I don't know if our mutual friend told you, but I'm an Orthodox Jew. And the majority of people I interact with are anywhere from Klansmen to Nazis to Middle Eastern people to American people to constitutional conservatives. The only people I don't really talk to are like the whole LGBTQ thing because I just don't have any patience for that shit.
Yeah, I don't have no headspace for that.
But a big part of what I do and a big part of what I enjoy is that I don't accept positions as just being completely illegitimate. And I believe that if people feel passionately about something, it doesn't matter whether it's bullshit or not, because they're going to act on that passion regardless. So if there's something that needs to be said, or if there's something that needs to be debunked, or if there's something that needs to be discussed, I'm more than happy to do it. Like, as I said, I've had spaces where the entire crowd are nothing but neo-Nazis. And I walk in, and the first thing they want to do, they want to put me in an oven, they want to do all this. But then as we start talking, they'll say, well, I have an issue with this. And we get into it. And I say, okay, well, here's the truth of the matter. Well, here's what you think. Let's see if we can figure out whether I'm right or whether you're right, or whether we just have to agree to disagree. Right. And I've never left one with everybody telling me to go fuck myself at the end. And that was a waste of time. So, and people keep in touch. They send me emails wanting to ask questions, because even if you hold a position that one would consider abhorrent, right? Like you would consider it to be an absolute horrible position, you still want to be right about what you're saying. So if somebody's going off on a tangent like, oh, well, I know this, I know that, I know this, I know that, and then you show them that you're just not correct, you can still hold the same position. You can still dislike me or dislike my people or dislike your own people, dislike whatever you want. But at the same time, at least have the balls to be honest about it and figure out what's right and what's wrong. Because no one benefits from spreading propaganda all over the place. The only people that benefit from that are Soros and, the powers that be of the globalist kind of cabal. So I get a lot of energy and happiness out of what I do, because I don't find talking to people to be harmful, even if they're people that no one would normally talk to.
So are you part of the what we can't call them?
Just so you know, there's also nothing that offends me, so you can say whatever you want.
No, it's YouTube, man.
Yeah.
Are you one of the small hats that rule the world, or did you not get invited to that club, or?
So I'm not allowed to talk about that, because when I met with the Zionist Council earlier, they said they don't know you so well, so they don't want me to really like kind of divulge all the secrets.
Everyone loves
these
me.
Lasers, you seem likable. So at the same time, I'll try to get you like your pass where you can learn about like the space lasers and stuff like that. No, I'm just a guy. I got a house full of kids. I work with my hands, and when I can, I learn about what's going on in the world.
So you're blacksmithing, huh? You make knives or tools?
I make all of the above. I make knives. Okay. I make tools. I make, you name it. Horseshoes sometimes. You name it.
I'm a builder myself. I build things. Right now I'm building companies, but
nice.
Well, I'm just because I retired and I'm really bored. So
so you're into motorsports, though? I mean, obviously from your name.
Yeah. Well, I owned a race team and a bunch of shops for a number of years, and I spent my entire adult life not having an adult, what I called an adult job. $5 comes in from Anson Knowles. Guys, people other than Anson can grift. Please loosen those wallets. Send in some money. I've been gone a week. I know, the grift must flow. Don't make me go get Andrew. Actually, he's probably asleep. $5, Manson Knowles.
I've known him for years. Me and Andrew have been friends for years.
Oh, that's awesome. Why did Halsey English invent the toothbrush? He tried growing out that orthodox beard long, and he needed something to clean the crumbs out of it. That's actually a legit thing, to be honest. That's but I think they call that a beard comb. Beard comb. Yeah. The answer we were looking for was beard comb. Comb.
No, I saw you were into motorsports. I just got finished putting together a 71 and a 77 Stingray.
Okay.
A good buddy of mine, he got really sick, and he got to the point where he figured he's not going to save all his money for retirement because he got really sick, and he kind of life flashed before him. So he got both of them.
That is a key thing. So I did. Now I did mostly Porsche.
Nice.
But we did the C5R Corvettes. We did the Viper comp coupes for a while.
Nice.
Various other things. And just, it's just what I did. It was my job. So I don't even, I mean, like, I'm immune to like a lot of things. It's really drives people like insane. Like for me the idea of a car costing a lot of money to me is like just normal. The idea of like, and this is an interesting thing because it's very difficult for some people to understand the way that money works and how you have to spend it or use it. I wouldn't even say spend it, but when we were racing, money was like, I mean, we spent money like it was water. Like Like, it's just crazy. Everything's overnight. We never have time to wait another day.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's no time. There's never enough time. And so, you know, we didn't care what fuel costs. We didn't care we basically, the only thing that really mattered was that the client's check cleared. Like, that's it. Beyond that, just, it's got to happen.
I hear you.
And you can't, and you, one of the reasons why I think that I'm the way that I am is because it takes a very specific size of nuts to stand there and tell a guy who has spent $18,000 or $20,000 to go racing for the weekend to stand there in front of him and say, "Sorry, bud, you're not going. Car's not going to be ready. There's nothing we can do. I don't care how much money you spend. I don't care how many guys I'm going to throw at it. I don't care I don't care who you call. Car's not going to be ready. We're not going." And this guy has literally already spent, $100,000, and he's ready. He's already spent like $10,000 or $15,000 to go to an event, and you're telling him he can't fucking go. And these are not people that you can generically say, "Yeah, you can't do that." So it takes a very specific size of nuts to just stand there and tell somebody shit like that. So that was that's been TPS. We'll just be quiet for a minute and let that read it. You can.
Anson Knowles donated $10 super chat. Why did Halsey English invent the toothbrush while restoring a 71 Stingray? 'Cause he needed something to scrub the rust off his orthodox world domination conspiracies and his bumper.
Anson Knowles, that is awesome.
He's getting better. I got to give him credit.
He's clever. He must be reining in the alcohol intake tonight. So the reason you can't hear the TTS is because you are in the show, right, and not watching it on YouTube, because you'll get feedback and echo. This only plays to YouTube. I can hear it because it plays it through my soundboard, but you can't hear it. So which is if you had heard it, it's a very nice British lady's voice that reads the TTS. So thank you, Anson Knowles, for that $10. The rest of you louts, get off your wallets. Come along now. Come along. Money must flow. So it was interesting, to have the type of dynamic that I worked under for years, right? Mm-hmm. You'd crash a car, like I'm just immune to it. I was just talking to one of my buddies. He's currently he worked for me for a long time, and now he's working with a club racing. This isn't even a real race; it's club racing. GT4 BMW team, and the hood was like $20,000 because it's carbon fiber, and they only make so many of them and all that. And I think the front bumper was like $7,000, because it's carbon fiber, and it just is what it. And you do $40,000, $50,000 worth of damage to the car in one little accident, and you just have to be willing to shrug that off and just keep rolling. And you have to be able to, from our side, we have to be willing to look somebody in the eye and tell them that what would be a $2,000 repair on a Hyundai is the cost of a Hyundai.
Hey, you know what? Play big games, win big prizes, right?
That's right. That's right.
If you don't want to play the game, then don't get into it.
Yeah, don't show up. Yeah, if you can't play, don't play. It's easy. Mm-hmm. You don't have to show up. But yeah, I spent my entire life playing in rarefied air, and I retired when I was 45.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, it was good. And I've spent the last 8 years kind of fucking off. And now, I'm bored. I can't sit still very long. I mean, that's figuratively, right? Like I have to have a project. I have to have something. Like I'm building airplanes. I fish all the time. I have all of the hobbies, like all of them. I do them all, and I do competitive shooting. I shoot 3-gun. I will occasionally shoot a pistol match, but I hate one gun matches, and so I traded race cars for race guns, which is cool.
Oh, I hear you. I shoot competition long distance.
Okay, so PRS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, but it's just I do all the cool things, but we're trying to buy a couple of companies. I actually had a phone call today with one of the companies where the guy it was a partnership. One guy bought the other partner out a week or so ago. He's like re-energized, and now his broker we had to call the broker, and the broker's like, I don't know if the guy wants to sell anymore. And I'm like, well, we need to know now, because if I spend a shit ton of money in due diligence and he just decides that he doesn't want to fucking sell his company, I'm going to sue his ass, and I'll own the company one way or the fucking other,
I hear you.
And but it's you ever buying a company is not like buying eggs at Walmart. You don't just walk in and swipe your card. It'd be fucking great if it was.
Not at all.
It was. But yeah, it's that's what I've done. Obviously politically, I'm a constitutional conservative. I think Trump's the best liberal I've ever seen. He's honestly, his politics, policies, and pretty much everything align basically with John F. Kennedy, and more so than any conservative president that we've had. But then Reagan was the same way. Reagan was more like Kennedy than any actual conservative. So I think that conservatism in and of itself is great. Conservative politicians, until we have term limits, are irrelevant, to be honest.
Well, it's to be a conservative is, and this is one of the geniuses of conservatism, is that everybody has a different definition of what they're trying to conserve. So even though we all agree on like general principles, like that guns should be available, we believe in lower taxes, less regulation, stuff like that. It's the details that we don't all agree on. So you'll hear one guy say, well, I think conservative means that we should do X. And everyone else will go, wait a minute, that's not a conservative principle. And someone will say, I think conservatives should only push religion. And then it's, wait, no, that's not conservative. Like, we argue amongst each other more than we argue with the other side, which is fun, because you know what happens? It means that when we get politicians, some of them suck, some are really good, but things happen when we get our guys in. Whereas with the other side, they all agree on everything. So when they get elected, nothing happens because they cheer them on no matter how bad they're doing. So like, does it mean we get fucked over more often than not? Sure, but you know what? That's life. So I like the fact that, especially now, we're the counterculture. Like we were, like, conservatives were always those stuffy suit wearing people that couldn't have a good time and only cared about what you did in your bedroom and stuff like that. And now we're the counterculture. We're the ones making music and movies and the things people want to do. Like all my conservative friends have a good time every time they leave their house. All my Democratic friends sit around and they're bored and they don't ever want to go anywhere and everything sucks. And you know what I'm saying? The whole world's falling apart, setting on fire with climate change, and they're all worried about everything. Everyone I know is having a blast. So
you know what? That's probably really accurate. So most of the liberals I know are the bitchiest people. And it's weird because you just can't make them happy.
Right. Exactly.
That's actually, so it's interesting, because when people talk about conservatism and conservatives, especially, one of the key things they all say is, well, conservatives are never happy. They're stoic. They don't know how to have fun. They don't know what to do. They don't know, all they do is have regular old plain sex with the same people, their entire lives. And my life is so much better because I'm so happy and I do drugs and I do whatever. And bang a bunch of women and I drink to excess and all of this stuff. But all of those things actually make those people so fucking miserable that all they do is sit around amongst themselves and bitch because no conservative ever wants to hear it. Have you ever noticed that when liberals start bitching, conservatives just fucking leave?
Yeah,
they go do something fun,
because
right?
Why sit around and listen to it?
Yeah.
What are we like, old women? We're gonna sit around and
Right,
just listen to bitch all day? Like that's not who we are.
Yeah,
So
and
it's crazy.
Right, and it's interesting. You get a bunch of conservatives together, and they'll talk about, oh man, have you seen that new movie? Have you seen? Or hey, what are you guys going to do? We're going to go hiking this weekend, or hey, we're going to go to the monster truck jam, or whatever the fuck. But it generically, I find that most conservatives don't actually talk about politics that much. They really don't give a shit about your politics unless you volunteer that information.
Mm-hmm.
Liberals will literally go to an event that is like the happiest event on the planet. They can go to fucking Disneyland and start talking about how Trump is ruining the world. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that like the weirdest shit ever?
Well, think about this. We've always put ourselves into collective groups, right? People that are into race cars,
absolutely.
People that are into guns, people that are into religion, people that are into whatever. The worst group that you can put yourself into is a political group. Why would you define yourself by politics, by fallible people that are in the muck doing the shit no one wants to hear about, right? And that's what people do now, especially on the left, but on the right, it's more of a thing like with it happens. But what I'm saying is like, who wants to sit around and talk about politics all the time when you could be doing something else? Like if you guys all go out hiking, you want to hike around and talk about whether Chuck Schumer is going to vote this way on a bill or whether this one's going to allow the filibuster on this. Who gives a fuck? And it's just conservatives realize that instinctually. Like when
another TTS coming through, just give
Mr.
it 1
Boulay
second.
in the Department of Numismatics donated $10 super chat. Monster Truck Jam. Grid, your age is showing.
I'm old. I don't make no bones about the fact that I'm fucking old. Age is showing.
I don't have a problem with it myself. So I
Thank you, Mr. Boulay in the Department of Numismatics. You Coinbase person. I like Mr. Boulay. Mr. Boulay is good people's. He's an engineer. That makes him almost logical. And yeah. So where do you stand on morality? Where are you? I mean, obviously you're. You said you're Orthodox Jew, right? Okay. All right. Okay. So so you're Christian morals ish. How do you define your morals?
Here's the thing about my morals. My morals are my morals, and my morals are good for my community. And if anyone asks about them, I'm happy to talk about it. Mm-hmm. But I don't consider myself the type of person that is going to tell you what your morals should be.
Sure.
So I don't like. I don't. If you want to do something that, like, obviously, if it's something like a PDF or like you're doing something horrible, then you're a criminal and you should go to jail. But I mean, when people want, I go out and I meet new women every night and I do this, enjoy. Like I don't care what you do with your time. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, and I don't moralize what you do with your time. Yeah, I live my life in a certain way.
I think it more in my point of view when I ask more about morality, I'm more looking for like worldview, the lens with which you would view specific things, and worldview is very, very interesting to talk about sometimes because very few people have the exact same world. Matter of fact, I don't think anybody has the exact same worldview, but I'm not trying to like box you in or anything. It's just I like to understand people's worldviews. It helps me understand where they're coming from so I don't take things in the wrong way.
I consider myself, I don't want to say like a philosopher, but I like philosophy. I like religion. I like these things.
Okay.
The way that I live my life is probably not that much different if I didn't believe in God at all. Like I live my life the way I live my life. Like I don't
Perfect.
run around. I don't run around chasing women because it's just not for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have the patience to try to deal with 20 different women. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just wouldn't do it. Like but people that do, it doesn't bother me at all because do what you're going to do. Like I think that everybody searches for happiness in different ways, and I try not to judge people based on that. As I said, unless you're talking about extreme behavior that I wouldn't associate with in the first place. But majoritively, like I do a Wednesday show with the guy that hooked us up, right? He watches our Wednesday show. It's with a guy who's like hardcore MGTOW, like walked away from women, like he's
Mm-hmm.
going to live with a doll for the rest of his life because that's his thing. Because
Yikes.
it's you know what? No judgment, because you know why? He's a good
Sure.
friend.
It's just a yikes.
I know, yeah, but could I do it? No. But you know what though? He's a good friend. And we
Mm-hmm.
we talk about politics because that's our show. So it's not like his behavior impacts that. And I'm the type of person that when we're friends, like if you're doing something that I consider cringe, don't expect me to go out there and start telling everybody that I think you're cringe because like I'm not like a 16-year-old girl. Like I don't need to feel better about myself by telling someone how cringe you are. Like we're friends. You know what I'm saying? Like friends are loyal to each other. Friends, do things for each other. Friends enjoy each other's company. We don't sit here and judge each other about shit that isn't going to change and that isn't going to be any different.
Thank you very much, Kissy Cat, for the 10 gifted memberships. That's awesome. Really appreciate that. It's OX Cat X or OX Cat XO. I refuse to pronounce that, so I just call her Kissy Cat. And thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. That's awesome. And then we have TTS coming through. Should come through in just 1 second after all of the memberships roll on through. I may have to change a timer on the how long they display. If we have to, I will.
No, don't worry about it.
I'll if we have to, I'll re-trigger it. But it'll come through eventually.
Tiki Tack donated $10 super chat. Morals? Here's an easy set of questions. Do you eat bacon? And do you put cheese on your burger?
Tiki Tack says, easy set of questions. Do you eat bacon and do you put cheese on your burger?
I do eat bacon. It's just made out of beef instead of pork. And I don't put cheese on burger because I don't like fake cheese or fake burgers.
Oh,
so
man.
I just eat it without the cheese.
Eat it without the cheese. All right. Tiki Tack. Good to see you in the chat, man. It's been a minute. I need to get you up on the stream here soon. And thanks a lot for all of the memberships. I see you out there, Wicked Wally. Your unshaven arms, dude. You have a degenerate on your show, man. I got to say something. I got to be like, hey, bro. Have her put some clothes on for crying out loud. What is wrong with you? But anyway, hey, man, it's your show. It was cool. I gave you some watch time, a couple hours, as I was getting ready for this show. But, yeah, it's awesome, man. We're having a really good conversation. So what okay. All right.
So
I'm trying to think I don't want to go too deep in the weeds on the politics.
No, that's fine. But what I was saying about morals, though, is that most people, if they ask me about the things I do in life, like how often do I pray, what do I eat, like what do I feel about interpersonal relationships, what do I feel about men and women interacting with each other, I'm fair. Oh, here we go. You got another one.
No, that's not a TTS. I'll have to read it. I was going to wait till you finish so I could read it. $5 from Anson Knowles. Halsey English doesn't chase women while prepping cheeseburgers. His subjective morality says it's okay to flip patties and principles at the same time. That's a shot across the bow, Anson. You know that. Come on now. Be kind. Be the kind of man that you always wanted to be.
One of the things I believe is the most moral behavior is that as people we should be loyal to each other. You know, like I have friends, I have acquaintances, and I don't feel that we live in a world where we should be so judgmental and so stuck in the mud that we're not loyal to each other. You know, like there are people, like I have friends online, I have friends in real life that I might disagree with vehemently on something like really, really big in their lives. But if they're an important person to me, like my loyalty to them is always going to override any stupid disagreement that I could have with them on a point of view, or some kind of political principle, or some kind of, you know, like, as I said, outside of like the really big stuff. If someone did something really horrible, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, it's great to go murder people. I'm loyal." You know, like I'm not that type of person. But like I have a lot of people in my life. I'm very blessed that I'm very close with, that I adore the hell out of, that that make me a very whole person, that I can learn from, that I can teach, that I can interact with. I've accumulated a lot of like really good connections over the course of my life, and I'm also one of those people, I really don't like being told there's something I can't accomplish. So like if I want to learn a new skill or learn a new career or something like that, like the worst thing anyone in life can do is make a bet that I won't do it. You know, like I was in kind of government work where I was a government contractor for a while. Wasn't doing it for me, so I just decided, you know what, I'm going to get into security work, like counterterrorism kind of work. So I started designing counterterror systems for religious institutions. I loved it, got tired of it, and decided to go elsewhere. You know, like, and decided I enjoy working with my hands, so I do that. Like, it's a way that I've been very blessed that I don't have to worry that I can't do something. I don't have to worry that I can't find work, or that I can't find a way to make things happen. And God comes through for everything that I can't handle myself. So it seems whenever I think there might be a problem, something steps in. There's some kind of huge occurrence, and it's like, holy shit! Like, now my life is 10 times better than I ever thought it could. You know. So that's where my moral compass lies. I have my own strict set of morals. I live by them, but I don't judge other people based on them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, my chat can be kind of rough sometimes. So.
Oh, this is nothing. Oh my God.
They can. Well, Anson's just having fun right now. He's he is an educated man. And he just recently, I think, he just got divorced. I don't know how many times, but he just got divorced recently, and he's having a great time because now, we all know who's sleeping with Anson's ex-wife, because it is Anson. Just got to put your business out in the street there, Anson, since you're being a pet, since you're firing shots, and. But so Anson's living the life, and he flirts with all the women in chat with harmlessly. He is harmless, ladies. He's not serious about any of this. He's just having fun because he has. I think his job has become a little more intense, maybe not stressful, intense. I don't know. And so he's. I like Anson a lot, though. He's a good dude. He's good people, and he's very, very intelligent. Don't let him lure you into thinking he's an Alabama rube.
I'm saying though, if that's the worst thing I hear in a day, it's a good day. Like I go live, and half my audience are telling me that they want me dead. So I'm telling you, like, it's I don't get offended. Like I really don't. If don't get me wrong, I'm not going to just hang out with people who hate me and for fun, but I don't consider words to be something that bother me. Like you could say whatever words you want. Like there's a whole sticks and stone things that come to mind. you know. So we'll all talk shit in good fun. Like I don't mind stuff like that. It
Yeah.
doesn't bother me.
So, also the thing about my channel is I want to have good conversations, good discussions with people. I want people to feel like they can have good conversations, banter, all of that. And so, in the sphere that we operate in, I consider this the continental. Anybody can come here. No business gets done. We're not debating. We're not fighting each other. This is a continental. I go to other channels and I wreck people and I make fun of their worldviews and we debate and we do all that kind of stuff on other people's channels. Last week I had a debate. Well, before I went to Debate Con, just a great send off. I had a debate with this truly stupid individual. There's two individuals. One was only partially stupid. The other was truly stupid. I've never in my life in a debate told someone that they were dumb, and they were actually so dumb that I don't normally date dumb or debate dumb people, and I can't believe I'm in a debate with someone this dumb. Like just and it's hilarious. And I actually called that person's teammate a dumb broad. Don't normally do that, but it was well earned. Let me tell you, they were absolutely bad faith and horrible. And it's interesting.
Well, that's how I met Andrew, is through all the big blood sports debates. That's kind of
I
that
saw
was my
one
thing
that you
for a while.
Yeah, I saw one that you hosted with some Sammy or Simi or something like that.
Probably
On
one of my favorite
feminism.
people on the planet. Probably one of my favorite people on the planet.
Yeah, that wasn't kind to feed her to Andrew like that. That was
well. The thing was, I didn't feed her to her, feed her to him, but all in all,
I was being a little facetious.
No, I hear you, but all in all, what happens happens. But at the end of the day, like, for anybody that thought she came off bad in the debate, she earned 10 followers who understand that she's actually probably one of the brighter people you'll meet. So, you know, people get nervous. People aren't used to a certain style of debate, whatever it may be. Some people just don't debate well. But the what matters is what happens after the debate. Do you crawl inside a cocoon and you know, kind of hide, or do you step up and say, okay, I'm gonna change things around. So as I said, first of all, the idea that she's stupid is kind of ridiculous in and of itself. I mean, the girl's in a top tier law school. Like, she's not stupid. You know, I think it was just a weird performance because she wasn't expecting it. But for 2 weeks later, she dealt with 100 trolls a day coming at her, and not only did she bat them off one by one, but everything she posted was smarter than the next guy. And I say all the time that she's one of the few people that changes my mind on some things. But just so I'm not just smitten, like, I see her change other people's minds on things too. So again, bad performance in front of Andrew, maybe, but at the same time led to probably a much greater win than she could have gotten as if she had just kicked him around for a while.
Cool. Tiki Tack says that he would like to know more about this counterterrorism intelligent work that you mentioned.
It's not intelligence. Oh, I mean, there is some level of investigation to it. It's more design and preparation. How do you train an emergency response team? How do you find for blind spots in camera systems? How do you prepare a perimeter? How do you prepare entrance materials? How do you train people on what to do should you hear a lot of loud bangs coming out of a certain area? What do you do if you see people running? How, if you have to breach a building, how do you breach that building? How do you alert the police? How do you identify yourself so that if the police are called to the scene, they don't think you're actually one of the attackers? Things like that. Like, it's a lot of training, a lot of firearm stuff, a lot of bulletproof vest stuff, a lot of surveillance equipment, and making sure that you can be as prepared as you can be in the advent of a terrorist attack. And it's mostly for religious institutions, so you're already talking about people that aren't so concerned about it in the first place, even though they're probably the people who should be the most concerned about it. You know, like people who are very religious, they just say, "Hey, God's watching over me. It's all good." And
True.
it's funny because they're the ones most likely to be attacked. You know, and
True.
it's probably 30% education, 70%, you know, changing around the system and working with it and making sure the teams are there, making sure the people you hire understand what they're doing, making sure you're not hiring Gomer Pyle with, you know, an old revolver that's going to sit on his ass and not doing anything, making sure you're logging visitors, making sure you're checking deliveries. It's a lot of work. And I mean, I enjoy the high tech part just as much. I enjoy the camera systems and the, you know, the data systems and the investigation work and all that. That's a lot of fun as well. But it's knowing that when I start a position, the best thing that can happen is that they don't need me anymore. You know, it means that I've accomplished my task to the point where they're running smooth enough that my presence there is no longer required, and it's time for me to move on. You know, and takes a few years, but when all said and done, it's a great feeling, and it's a good thing to know I'm not trapped in something that I can't deal with anymore. You know, there's no mundaneness to it. There's no like, okay, this is getting boring. I'm just coming in here every day and just, you know, staring at something or, you know, running a training that I've already run 30 times. And so it's very rewarding. I had my last one 4 months ago, and it ended. And at this point, it's like, do I do another at that? Like, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself. So I'm not so sure, but most likely I will.
Cool. Lindsay, are you asking me Tiki Tack or Halsey English? I don't know who you're asking, so I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with the comment. You've confuddled me.
Is he the one who asked what kind of teams have I worked with?
No, that was Tiki Tack. So he and
Okay.
I figured he got his answer there.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay Smith says those who are blessed, you mean, which I'm not really sure who she's. There's like 4 conversations going on in chat right now. I can't follow them all, and I don't really try to. So
I do got to warn you that I got about 25 minutes left.
okay,
As I
that's
said,
fine.
I've had the flu for the last couple days. Like the only
No
reason
worries.
I'm
No
really
worries.
alert is because I'm on a lot of cold meds, and I know I'm going to start fading in a little bit. And I still
Okay.
got about 4 hours of studying I'm going to do tonight, so I
Okay.
have to limit my exposure tonight. But I just do want to say, but like just in case I forget later, like this has been a really good time. Like I enjoy this kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
you know.
Well, we could take a few minutes and have a couple of people come up if you want to talk to some other people besides me.
Happy to do it. As I said, that's what and by the way, just so you know, a
Yeah.
lot of people are starting to realize this. The Twitter Spaces format is really going to be something that's going to pick up, and especially as Elon Musk has been transforming Twitter into being like a payment service and things like that. Like he's going to start integrating like ways that creators can profit from these things and can earn fees from these things. It's a phenomenal format to have 500 people there and be able to interact with all these people at once. I mean, yeah, you get some spurgs now and then, you just got to kick them out. But other than that, like it's very rewarding, and I really do think it's the future. So you might want to get into it.
Yeah. Stand by.
Wrongful Rage donated $10. Super chat. Loyalty requires judgment. Without judgment you cannot have trust. Without trust you cannot have loyalty. Thus judgment is key to having trust and loyalty.
Good to see you back, Wrongful Rage. Good to see that. Were you able to read that, Halsey, or do I need to?
I can see it.
Okay. That's actually a really good. That's a really good kind of turn of phrase there. So,
well, luckily, I'm a very good judge of character. I've been very rarely disappointed. So, you know.
So as far as X goes, I used to stream to X, restream to X, and before I go into this, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, if you would like to come up onto the panel, you need to just ask a mod for the link. I'm going to I think I forgot to post the link in Discord. I will do that now because I didn't know, I wasn't really sure I was going to do guests tonight, but we'll do that. So mods, the link is currently in the mod chat. And so people that want to come up and chat with Halsey or hang out after the at the end, that's totally cool. Yeah, Siege has it as well. Go ahead and check in with a mod. Obviously, as always, mods vet the people that are going to come up because we do maintain some control here. And I'm sorry, I was gonna. So with X, Halsey, my other problem with the spaces is, you get a lot of people, kind of paying attention to you, but it's I just haven't found it to be that conducive to the format that I like, and maybe I need to kind of change things around a little bit, and maybe I need to try it again. I just wasn't really into it that much.
So for me, I'm very eclectic. Like I have a lot of interests and I have a lot of knowledge on a lot of different subjects. So a lot of times in the space, and the even better is that if I'm not feeling all that talkative for an hour or something like that, like I can just sit there and listen or not even pay attention if I don't want to, and just let the conversation happen without me and do something else. But at the same time, I find that most of the spaces I run, like or with my co-hosts, we really the people that pile in really fast, they have questions for us and they want to get into stuff that I'm already very interested in. So instead of it just being them asking a question and me answering, which is what it is when I stream to YouTube, someone sends me a super chat, I answer it, move on. It's more of an interactive conversation, and more people weigh in, and someone says, have you ever thought of this, or have you ever done this? And I find them to be very, very fulfilling. And as I said, the best part is I can do other things while I'm doing them too. So if I'm drawing up a plan, like I do every
As a
day,
proud descendant
or
of the
I'm
English,
writing
I
something, or if I
qualify
have
the name
some
English
work to
as
do,
being a proud Jewish
I
origin.
either excuse myself
English
for a
is
little while, or I
derived
just
from the
do it
word
like while I'm
angle,
typing
which
or
a
something
data
like that.
point needed for
I
counting
find that
bars of stacked gold.
I can really interact with the audience in a way that I haven't yet, and be social and see, like, not all of my audience can show up if I do 9 o'clock every day on weekdays, right? But if I have a space open for 6 hours in a row, even if I'm not there the whole time, people come and go. They jump in for an hour, they jump out. Like I find that I interact with a lot more of my audience than I ever did. As I said, sometimes people try to like take over and act like assholes, but then that's why you have co-hosts. They kick them, so.
Yep. Okay. Sorry. I don't really have a real response to that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to re-trigger this. I got to re-trigger the TTS in a second, and I need to do just one thing really quickly.
No problem.
Sorry. I apologize. Very unprofessional of me, but that's okay. All right. So Clover Tax said he has been opening up some Gum Prattle X spaces now and again. They're getting a little more traction, but he wishes more people would play around with that in my niche so it can become a thing. Yeah, I'll do with that. I'll help you out with that. And then let me re-trigger the TTS. That's a whole other deal. There we go.
Anson Knowles donated $10, super chat. As a proud descendant of the English, I qualify the name English as being of proud Jewish origin. English is derived from the word angle, which a data point needed for counting bars of stacked gold.
Anson Knowles, that's a very odd thing to know, but awesome, buddy. That's
Well,
really
he's
cool. I
actually
appreciate that.
he's right because my father, where obviously I get my name from, is not Jewish, right? And his family goes back in America to the 1600s, and before that they were in Britain. They're Anglo-Saxon in origin. So, and Halsey, my first name, is my great uncle's name, who is Admiral William Halsey. He was the commander of the Pacific Fleet during World War II. So, I have the kind of diverse back, but he's actually right that English is it's as much an Irish name as it is an English name, but it doesn't have Jewish origins mostly, but it does have somewhat of it.
I hear what you're saying also about the length of time on the X Spaces, because I actually used to do anywhere from 4 to 8 hour streams, and which is nuts now. Like I'm at 3 hours unless we are just like we're just going for it. Like literally at like 3, and we've gone like 3.5 hours, and I'm like, all right, guys, done. I'm done. I'm cooked. I'm going. I'm sending it over to these guys. I'll redirect all the guests to another stream and be like, I'm done. I'm out. I'll go play on somebody else's stream, but I just they're for me. I had to really clearly define my show. Lindsay, I see you there. I'm not ignoring you. Just give me just a minute. For me, when I started doing this, I only started a year ago. And basically what really happened for me was I wanted, I didn't actually intend to start a stream. I had some people that kind of pushed me into it, I guess you'd say. And then I wanted, but in my world, you're either pro or not pro. Right.
Yep.
And so I wanted to really, if I was going to do it, I wanted to do it right, so to speak. And I wanted to have, I want to have a good camera. I want to have a good background. I want to have good sound. I want to have good mics. I've got monitors so I can have everything up and I don't have to like sit here and fuck around with my computer all night. I just want to be able to talk to my guest and have a great show. But, so one of the things that is really important to me is just having a really good show. I actually would rather have a really good show and have a mediocre attendance than have a shitty show and have a bunch of people watch me be an idiot. So,
couldn't agree more. I don't think like people say that all the time. You have this many subs or you had this many people there. I don't think I've ever even checked because I don't care. I don't care how many people show up. I just care that I'm enjoying myself. And for my first, I want to say 2 or 3 years on YouTube, I had a co-host that likes to talk as much as I do. We were doing 5-6 hours a night, like for years, like almost every night. And it was a blast. He burned out a little bit. I burned out a little bit. And we just slowed down for a while. But I find that I don't have a problem putting the time in. But I have a problem like finding other people because I can't just talk myself for 6 hours.
Right.
Like, I run out of shit to talk about after an hour if I'm just talking to a camera. Like I need to feed off.
Yeah.
I need to be able to interact.
So I have recurring guests, and I will pull people up. Like Lindsay here is very good about being in the chat a lot, and I can pull her up sometimes. She can be a little. I don't know what the word is, but
verbose.
Sorry?
Verbose.
You say that again.
I said verbose.
No. You can be a little precocious. You don't always want to come up. But Lindsay, Imperious is, he's always willing to come up, but he's been spicy lately. I don't know about Imperious. He'll have to convince me he can come up. Mikey Balls out there. He's a good dude. He's always welcome as a guest on the show. He always has great input. Anson is great to come up and chat. As a matter of fact, some nights Anson will come on. I'll have him come up right out of the gate, and we'll talk politics and life and just everything. But and I, the chat is a great resource for to use. And like Wicked Wally there. So I started with a co-host, and both my co-host and I've had two co-hosts, both of them fine people doing their own shows now. Not the best fit. But like Wally, so Saturday night, Wicked Wally will come up, and we'll get some other guys up, and we're going to talk shit about what happened this week. All of the debate con stuff. I've got a lot of shit to talk about that. There've been some other debates I've watched where people have just done fucking stupid shit, and I gotta talk shit about that. That's my duty as an American to just point out where people are being dumb as fuck. And
of course,
can't let it go. Can't let it go, man. So Saturday night's a great night around here because we let it go.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just talking shit. Like, no, we're not. I'm not going to allow anyone to like sit here and do a hour-long soliloquy on why Halsey English sucks. That's not cool. But if somebody wants to come on and say like, so and so, I was on their stream the other night and damn, they had the dumbest guest ever on, I'd be like, that's funny. Let's move on. We'll just move on to the next funny thing. So, because we haven't had a chance to talk about the debate from last Monday, where literally the dumbest pair of females on the planet attempted to debate two normal human men, and it was horrible. Did you see that, Lindsay?
I did
Were you
not.
in the audience?
No. And
Who was it?
please don't feel, like I'm going to airhead up the show. I just simply wanted to ask a question based on what Halsey was offering here and what intrigued my interest. But you'll be glad to know that Anson is coming up, and he has a lot to say, and he does a lot of the dude talking.
Yeah, he's a good
dude. I could, I would like to before he gets up here, ask a question really quickly, and I'll pop right back down. And it's one of those things. I'm just going to go ahead if that's okay with you.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just being me. Go ahead. I was just being me. Anson, you're not used to your new technology.
Yeah, I know. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Let's let Lindsay go. Can you mute down?
Okay, you were talking about some strategies which I find interesting for protection and defense against, I don't know, maybe some kind of Armageddon stuff to some people, but you were talking about how people basically are panicking, and that you disagree because you think people are having a great time when other people are saying, oh my God, there's wars everywhere. There's 14 wars going on. The economy's taking a dive. Look at the interest rate, so on, so on, so on. And I was thinking about that Las Vegas shooting and how you said you were setting up people, corporations, etc., to protect themselves, and different strategies in which they can stay safe and protect against these worries and fears they have about the current environment and conditions of things. And I thought about the Las Vegas shooting, and I was thinking about why people keep leaving out. They mentioned the fight or flight, which we're very familiar with, but they leave out the freeze, and how often freeze occurs with all of us. You just never, that's one of those things you can't predict. And so how do you address freeze? And like that happened in the Las Vegas shooting, one of the cops, I believe that was in the building, there were 3, and we're supposed to reach the shooter and take away the guns. One of them completely froze by the door, and they could not push him. They could not wave their hands in front of him to get him to react. It was just his body's natural reaction, which is basically useless. What do you put in place? How do you prepare for that kind of thing?
So there's a couple things when it comes to that. anyone who's been to a gun range can tell you that when you first start shooting, even when you're not under threat, you're not shooting, you're not going to be that great of a shot because you're just learning, you still feel a surge of adrenaline every time you pull that trigger, right? And it's something you have to overcome. Like the longer you shoot, the more it just becomes muscle memory,
and the
and
less
you don't
recoil.
right. But that surge of adrenaline, the more danger you're in, becomes stronger. So in the military, the way they do it is by live fire exercises. That when they teach you how to shoot, every time you pull the trigger, there's 5 guys around you with guns shooting in the air, so that you're constantly hearing that sound of gunfire going off around you, so you get used to it, and your body doesn't respond with a huge adrenaline surge. I do that as well when I'm doing trainings. I just use blanks because obviously I'm not going to, at a gun range, whether indoor or outdoor, I'm not going to start shooting off into the air. Someone get hurt. But preparing for that is still not something that's all that easy, because the New York City Police Department, right, is by all standards the best trained police department in the country in terms of firearms training. In a live fire situation, they hit their targets 30% of the time. So 70% of the time they shoot, they're so overcome by adrenaline that they don't hit what they're shooting at. And as I said, they're better trained than pretty much any other PD in the country. So the way you get over it is to put yourself in situations where you get used to loud noises. You get used to being scared. You get used to being put under pressure. Like if you have a mag with 10 rounds in it, and you say, I want to hit this, and this on the target, and I want to do it in under 9 seconds. And if you do it and it took you 11 seconds, then you keep doing it till you get down to 9. Because the more you do it and the more you become familiar with it, the better it is. And I have a really good friend that was at the Las Vegas shooting. She was there singing at the whole thing, and she froze, and so did almost everybody else when the bullets started flying. They didn't. Most people would think you're going to run and cause a stampede. They don't. People just freeze. And
I had a bunch of friends there.
Issue. Yeah.
That was a really good answer to my question. Thank you. But how does it pertain particularly to companies? How do you get people in companies? Do you tell them, okay, you have a homework assignment, and that is to, if you're worried about these disasters happening or mass shootings, do you regularly do your homework and go to shooting ranges? I mean, what?
So here's the problem with doing any kind of training, whether it be at a corporation, whether it be at a religious institution, doesn't matter, is that most people, and when I say most, 99.99999% are never going to witness or be a part of a shooting ever in their life. So just because the shiny box tells you that things are getting worse and that there's all kinds of violence going on all over the place, it's just not true. Crime rates in America are at historic lows and have been since they started going down in the 90s. There was a little bit of a surge during COVID because of the George Floyd riots, but crime rates are exceptionally low. But consistently, what surveys and psychological testing has shown is that as crime rates have gone down, people's anxiety about crime has gone up. And that's a result of the media. The media do that because after the Soviet Union fell, there was no Cold War for everyone to scare everybody about the Soviet Union. They started scaring us about each other. So
have you
right
heard
now,
about
people
Mandela effect, and do you think that applies here?
It's not even the Mandela effect. It's just the case that the more you hear something, the more you're going to believe it's a thing. So if you ask people when I was younger, which was before the media frenzy started, when Rocky Balboa defeated communism, by boxing it away and stuff like that, like we would go out all hours of the day and night by ourselves on our bicycles, jumping into dirty rivers and doing all that, and it just wasn't a thing. And crime rates were at historic highs at that point. But now that crime rates are at historic lows, if you ask any parent if they let their kids go out by themselves, they say no. Kids don't go out until they're in their teens. It's just not a thing anymore. And parents are terrified. They'll tell you, I'm not going to let my kid go to a park by themselves. They could get abducted or raped and murdered. It's just not true. So
yeah, that's an interest. I mean, it's really an interesting dynamic. a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, I had a buddy of mine, and I've been a shooter all my life. I've done kind of some stupid things before, and
No way.
I know, right? And so I was out with my buddy one day, and I'll preface this by saying that my this particular buddy is a former Army Ranger. I don't know if he's got the SF tab or not. I don't know if he's tabbed, but he does have a Ranger tab, and he's he's not like super high speed, and he was peacetime as well, so he's not really like super high speed guy like a lot of people are, but he was pretty high speed. And we were out one day, and actually we're in his car for some reason, and he stopped to get gas, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my phone. I think I was probably messaging my wife or something, and he comes up and he hits the back of the car, and my immediate reaction was to grab for the gun that wasn't there because where it normally is my car, and he was laughing. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And he's like, "You were grabbing for the gun that wasn't there." And he thought it was very interesting because most people don't do that. When somebody slams on the side of the car door, they jerk and they look, and they kind of freeze. And it's all about the reaction that is knowing you can never know the exact reaction you're gonna have, but you can kind of understand the reaction you might have. Vegas was a very interesting dynamic, and I had actually people on I knew a lot of people there because I was in California at the time, and a lot of the people that I knew in the Bay Area were in Vegas that weekend for the concert, and it was a big mess. Vegas is an interesting example, but a better example is the church in Texas where the guy broke in, and before he could deploy his shotgun, he was shot dead from across a church by an attendee.
Mm-hmm.
That's a much better scenario, much more accurate, because at that point, the guy had not even pulled the trigger yet. There was no shot. It was just, at that point, he was just a guy in a long coat pulling something out of it. Now, he did get the shotgun all the way out, so obviously the weapon was identifiable. But and Clover Tack will tell us when he comes up, but I'm pretty sure that he didn't actually have the. I don't think he actually had time to fire, and there were no casualties except for the shooter in that situation. Lindsay drops off because she doesn't want to hear me proselytizing.
I think she knows I'm going to start speaking in a minute, and she doesn't want to, put out what all that stuff she's been offering in chat to me. So
also, I wanted to say that I just wanted to finish because, as I said, I'm running out of time. But
sure.
When you do a corporate exercise, the best thing to do is to let people know that the way you train yourself to deal with emergencies is by dealing with surprise. So instead of you could pull people into a 10-hour class, you could show them videos, you can give them, emergency response plans.
Mm-hmm.
It's all meaningless because if a person freezes when an emergency happens, then it's pointless anyway. So what you do is we'll tell the group that over the next 2 days, there's going to be a series of exercises that are going to help train them on whatever, right? But we won't tell them slightly what it is.
Yeah.
And everyone will be at work one day. Everyone's just doing their thing. And we'll just have a guy run into the floor, screaming bloody murder, grabbing his chest. They don't know what's wrong. And we'll be there watching. No one realizes that we're sitting there watching or watching on a camera, and half of them pull out their phones. Half of them jump under their desks. Some people get hysterical and start screaming, trying to figure out what's going on. Some people pick up the phone to call 911. But almost universally, what you see the least is someone go over and help the guy. Okay, which is obviously what you should do first. If someone's clutching their chest and screaming and whatever, your first inclination should be either this guy is a threat and you should try to take him out, because if he's this close to you, you're not going to be able to run. So, or he's in serious trouble and needs some help. And the last thing you should ever be doing is pulling out your phone and taking a video of it. If you're that type of person, then you need to check yourself as to whether like
that's a new phenomenon too, right? Like that's like people just, it's weird. I saw a video recently of where someone was being attacked, and all of these people, rather than help, they pulled out their phones. It was the craziest thing.
It's a real thing now.
Yeah, it was absolutely nuts. Let me read this before you fire up there, Anson.
Yep.
K2 Keep On Trucking says, did I make that girl that was teamed up with Ghosty leave when I super chatted Trump is your daddy? No, she left because she actually rage quit because she freaked out for some reason when Sarah brought up somebody and was telling them, basically that, hey, we don't really know who you are, and, don't be doing anything weird like, dropping your pants, no dick pics, no boobies, don't porn bomb, just the stuff that unfortunately a lot of YouTube channels have to use as a disclaimer. And she was already like super drunk anyway, and so she just basically just rage quit. It was the delayed rage quit. I think the alcohol slowed the response time quite a bit, but it was actually a beautiful rage quit. We're going to talk all about it on Saturday's Shit Talk Extravaganza, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. I got Siege D coming to the stage. Welcome, Siege D. How are you, sir?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Appreciate the Halsey for you being able to come over here and talk to Grid a little bit. I figured you guys would get along pretty well, seeing as though that you guys talk a lot about politics as well as guns and stuff, man. And also, by the way, it was good to finally meet you, because before I discovered all the red pill stuff, I tuned into TFM show constantly and listened to you and him talk about a lot of stuff like politics as well as red pill, man. So it's good to finally meet and talk to you, man.
For sure, we should actually do a show sometime. I wish I had more time. Like as I said, I really got to run.
And you know what? And you're welcome back anytime. You can just shoot me a message on Discord if you're on Discord, or absolutely. I'm technically on all of the social medias, but easiest to just find me on Discord or whatever, and super easy to do that. And you're welcome back anytime. If you'd like to give an outro, if you need to leave now, or if you want to hang for a few minutes.
I do. I got to run, but
okay.
If you want to find me, the best place to find me is on Twitter. You can find me at Real Halsey E is my screen name, or you can find either of my co-hosts, Raylan Stark, Raylan Stark, just like that. Or you can find my other co-host, Sammy, at It's Sammy, OHH, It's Sammy. They're a hell of a lot of fun. They run great spaces. They shit talk all day on Twitter. So find any of the three of us and you find all of us. I'm really glad that we were able to do this. I really had a good time.
Awesome, man. It was great having you. You've been a great guest, and we'll be glad to have you back anytime.
Excellent, man. Have a great night. And
feel free to stop by when we do the show, and just participate. You can throw rocks from the audience. It's okay.
I very well might do that.
yeah, Halsey, I'll send you a link to Grid's Discord so you can join. That way, it's easier to give you the link, because that's how we kind of
the Discord's awesome.
I've been on Discord for years, so
yeah, the Discord is awesome. It's a life of its own. It really is.
Mine too. Okay, guys, I'll see you later. Thank you very much.
Have a great evening.
See you, Halsey.
All right. Clover Tack, why don't you come on up here and talk shit? But Lindsay, yes, I see you out there in chat talking about how it was a mess. It was a shit show of a debate. It was terrible. It was absolutely just nuts. Like I absolutely. Why don't I give you? It's in the mod chat. What
I sent it to Clover. I just sent it to you, Clover Tag. Okay. Continue, Grid.
All right. But the funniest thing is that I kept trying, and look, I enjoy a good shit show debate as much as the next guy, right? But I tried multiple times to redirect the debate back to the actual debate prompt of was it justified? Flow State did too, and we were just like, it was just like all they want to do is talk about the drugs, but the drug traffic thing though. We're gonna deep dive that shit on Saturday. I've got it all pent up energy. I tell you about this these stupid broads that Lindsay Smith is embarrassed. It proved men's points about being too emotional to be rational. It was embarrassing. It was something. It was something for sure. It was a fucking shit show. And what was funny is that like it now, Anson, tell me if you've seen this in a debate. The woman says, "Let me talk," and you go, "Okay," and you let her talk, and then the first fucking word you say, she starts talking over you. You seen that before?
Yeah, I've seen. Well, I've seen that in debates with women who are in a relationship with me. I feel sorry for the dude she's getting married to soon. To be honest with you, Ghosty in that debate you had was actually kind of calm and made sense.
Ghosty was actually the bet of the two. Ghosty was respectful, if I want to use that word, and she actually, when we did try and move on to the actual debate points, she would move in that direction. It was the Nina girl who just couldn't get past drug trafficking. It was drug trafficking, y'all. Did you know that guy drug trafficked? Because he was trafficking, even though there was no proof he'd ever actually trafficked drugs. And we argued that for like 2 fucking hours for no goddamn good reason. Welcome, Clover Tack. How the hell are you?
I'm well, man. I'm well.
Good. Excellent.
So, I mean, on that topic, Grid, about that Nina character, Andrew has debated with her constant.
Yeah, that was a shit show too.
Yeah, she's always shown up drunk and kind of comes off as bad faith frequently, man. It's a little bit hard to listen to her, honestly.
It'd be a lot easier to listen to her if she was better looking, but she's not. So
she has gotten really ugly with age, man. That's apparently what alcoholism does to you, man. Sheesh.
You mean in the last 6 months?
Oh shit, yeah. Hey, by the way, Clover Tech, it was fun joining your space the other night, man. It was fun getting to talk about guns and stuff.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah, appreciate it, man. That was probably the best experiment that we've had with that. I've been trying to do those pretty regular because, I go in those X spaces and I look around and look at them. What's all the fucking gun prattle? And there's like never any, ever. And I'm like, this needs to be a thing. People need to get in here and open up gun prattle X spaces. And so I've been trying to make that a thing.
I may join you in that pursuit.
Well, you need to open them. Fuck joining me. I'm not talking about.
No. I mean, I may join
give
you
me
in
subs and follows and come do shit. But like, I want other people to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm welcome to go and prattle about guns on X. That's
I can come into yours if there's one there. That's what I'm saying. I won't have to start one. I can go in somebody else.
I'm welcome. I'll go start some. I just need the only thing I really need is a couple more hours in my day, and we'll make that shit happen.
I know, right? No shit.
So yeah.
Cool thing
I probably can't make it happen. I'm getting to a point now where I'm having some more time. So
cool thing about X as well is that it can be a little bit. It's lenient on the TOS as well over there, so you can say a little bit more stuff, man.
Lenient on the TOS is an understatement. X is it's almost as bad as Rumble in terms of what they'll allow. I mean, you can get on there and find just about anything you want as long as you're not Kanye.
Yeah.
Agreed. That's why Andrew doesn't do many X invasions, just because someone will say something that goes against YouTube TOS and he'll have to nuke the stream.
Yeah. Ticky Tack, you're correct. Ghosty is actually good faith for the most part. So when she is bad faith, I don't think she's actually being bad faith. I just think she's not.
She's just dumb.
Yeah. She's just dumb, right?
Well, she's inexperienced. She's too young to be debating. She needs to read about 100 books, and then she'll have something to talk about. But right now,
Did you guys watch the after debate stream? She was literally sitting there talking about her fucking drug dealer.
Sheesh.
And driving people to meet her drug dealer. I'm like, so you're literally doing the same thing that you claim that you were facilitating the trafficking of drugs, just like you said poor Ross Ulbright was doing. And it was fucking hilarious. I'm like, she's still doing drugs, guys. She's still on the ride. So,
oh, she said she was clean towards the end. She was talking about past experience.
Did she? Because
yeah,
it seemed like she said she was still struggling with it.
Yeah, I got onto the panel with her, and I asked her later on. And I asked her later on.
Okay, great.
Because I've had too many people that I've known that have expired because of those kind of problems. So I wanted to talk to her about it. And yeah, she said she's been clean for like a year and a half.
Ticky Tack says he wouldn't doubt she microdoses shrooms. Sure, okay.
Well, that's not really a drug, though.
Yeah, okay. Welcome, Watsay Lou. I didn't see you come in. Oh, she does Molly. What's Molly?
One of those.
A type of acid.
Hallucinogen.
You're clean, but you do acid?
Yeah, that's not really a drug either.
It brings out the creativity, man. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Come on.
Where's your sense of
mind and mood altering substances, motherfuckers? What the fuck is wrong with you guys?
I want to be an artist, man. I want to be an artist.
It's a rave drug. Okay. All right. You want to be an artist? I don't want to be an artist.
I want to be a cowboy, baby.
I just drink a lot of coffee, man. I drink too much coffee, perhaps, man. I'd be able to drink enough water.
No, I couldn't tell that. I couldn't tell that you drink too much coffee. Not if I talk to you for 3 days straight, I'd never be able to tell that. You talk faster than any one person I've ever known in my life, dude.
Oh no! Sometimes when I'm modding a lot, people think I'm on methamphetamine just because how fast I am, man.
Well, we're going to talk a lot of shit about Destiny and his orbiters and all the bullshit that's been going on with my man, Rob Noor.
All right.
That motherfucker has been getting just shit on by Destiny's crew. He needs support, folks. That dude Connor, and I can never remember his last name, is a fucking piece of work. Tell you what. I don't know if you guys saw the debate. I may take some clips, but a lot of the debate was Connor legit saying the F slur rhymes with British cigarette over and fucking over again. And and then Rob said it like twice, which was dumb. And then both of their Twitch channels got nuked. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, and I don't know. It's not a good look. We'll talk about DebateCon, all of the cool shit that happened at DebateCon, all the bad shit that happened at DebateCon. So
yeah, I gotta see on X a few posts from some other people that you got to take some pictures with. Like I gotta see a photo with you and Sarah, which was adorable.
Sarah's like a midget in 5 states. I swear to God, she's like 5'2".
Oh boy, too funny. And also getting to see you at the table with Andrew and Sarah and Rachel as well. I was like, oh my God, it's great. Too cool, man.
Yeah,
I saw some of the pictures of that debate con, and Sarah looks a heck of a lot older in comparison to what she does on her streams. I don't know if she's got the lighting done up in her studio a certain way to not look quite so old, but yeah, she's pretty. She looks like she's hitting the wall.
God damn, Anson. Jeez.
Anson just calls it fucking like he sees it. Damn, son.
That's pretty common, though.
$5 from K2. Keep on trucking. She tried telling me about logistics. No, the UPS guy won't get in trouble if he doesn't know what's in the box when he does a pickup. That's true. That's true. However, and this has happened, if a UPS shipping center knows you're doing funky stuff, those guys get in trouble. I've actually, there used to be another one near my house in California that no longer exists. I'm sure maybe it has a new owner, whatever. But anyway, yeah, man. So we're gonna talk about a lot. Saturday night is gonna be an excellent shit talking extravaganza. None of you fuckers need to miss it. It's gonna be baller. I don't even know who we're gonna have up on the stage yet. It's gonna be great though. It's gonna be great. And Friday night show. I haven't really decided about Friday night show. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm a little upset that Halsey had to get off because I prepped a bunch of Jewish jokes and then he had to go.
What is it with you and Halsey, man? Do you know that guy? Do you guys go to school together or what?
No. I see. That's what I wanted to talk to him about because I wanted to clear some. I love Jewish people. I've never had an issue with them. I just make jokes. But
I know that you just make jokes, Hanson.
Yeah.
That's why I never get mad at you, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, no,
I have to warn everybody else though.
Yeah.
Hanson's harmless. He's he's a little salty about the guy that's sleeping with his ex-wife.
Yeah, I love Jewish people. The three Jewish people I've known, either through friendships or professional relationships, are all wonderful people. And being from Alabama, that's the entire population of their demographic. So
it's true. It's true. Yep. So Clover Tack, how's the week? Man, I was gone a week. What's been going on, dude? Has it been boring? You missed me? Was the world a little less bright?
Oh man, I had a ball. I had a blast. You weren't a fucking time sink for me. So it's great, man. It's wonderful.
Yeah, you got some work done? You got to go shoot some guns and shit?
Go to debate cons more often, dude. What the hell?
Well, actually, I'm trying to help with debate con.
Well, there you go.
So debate con, we'll get into all of the shit later, but debate con was not all it could be. So I think I've talked to you about this, Clover, but it's a little known fact that I actually am a match director and I put on events. And I actually still own the company, WMD. The name of the bot is the name of the company, Walker Match Directing, that I own. And I'm gonna say, hey, the event had so much potential to be fucking awesome, and it wasn't. So let's fix that. And one of the things, and you'll know about this, Clover Tack, is that would you guys believe the number of cancellations they had? Because why would people show up? Right? Once you say, hey, this guy's going to be there, and you drive all that traffic to their channels, and they've received the benefit, why do they need to go out of their way to show the fuck up? And so so a large number of the guests or the debaters pussed out. Me personally, I think they were all choking on somebody's cock at the time, so including Not So Erudite. So they have that as an excuse if they choose to use that, but the Muslims have no excuse, even if they were choking on cock at the time. So, but not one of those fuckers showed up. Not one. They threatened a protest. They did. They didn't show up. They're not even a protest. That's just.
What are they protesting? What the fuck? What?
They were supposedly they were going to protest Alex Stein, but there was another Alex something or the fucking other.
Alex O'Connor, atheist.
Yeah, the atheist fuck who somehow thought the Muslims were there for his dumbass, and he had to cancel his appearance because the Muslims, and none of the Muslims even showed up. Not even the protests. Literally the Muslim versus Christianity debate. The guy didn't show the fuck up, so they had to sub in Gnostic informant, who, by the way, doesn't give a shit about Muslim versus Christianity. So he literally just conceded that Muslim sucks, and just started debating whether or not Christianity is real. So it was fucking great. So we're gonna stop that. I told and again, Clovertack, you probably know something about this. I told James, I said one of the things you need to do is you need to go around to all the people who are here right now that you want to be a headliner at the next debate con, and you need to sign them up. And for the people who have any potential whatsoever of riding your coattails and letting you market for them for the next 3, 6, 8, 9, whatever many fucking months. Mm-hmm. And then canceling at the last minute after you've driven a bunch of traffic to their pages, you need to get $1,000 deposit from them.
Yep. That's
not refundable if they decide not to fucking show up.
Yep.
And I told him, I'm like, look, there's literally no conference, PRI, SHOT Show, the NRA convention, SEMA, that shit. When even before this year's show ends, they're already working on next year's show.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
You
There's also safeguards. Like for example, you register for SHOT, you pay your stuff, you don't show up, it's fucking on you. You lost your fucking money. Hate your luck.
Right. Fuck yeah.
And so now from a media perspective, it's a little bit different with that. There are some shows, and I don't go to them because of this, but they will require a deposit up front that you get back if you show up. And I'm like, I understand why they're doing it, but SHOT Show doesn't do that. NRAM, Great American Outdoors, like none of those goals, none of those does that. TriggerCon, GunCon, I can think of 9 shows in a year, that I go to. None of them do that. So
yeah.
But I can understand why they want to do that.
Well, SEMA, if you're going to be a guest and they're going to market you, right? They're going to put your name in the program.
Right.
You got to cough up some dough.
Well, the ones that I go to that I run a panel or speak or do a class or anything, I'm getting paid for that shit. So obviously if I don't show up, I don't get fucking paid, right? So like
sure. Yeah, but you're not an advertiser, right? You're not an advertiser. Yeah. So when we talk about a channel,
well, they put it out there. I mean, it's advertised that my stuff is going on or whatever, same as everybody else.
It's just a different format, right? So it's a media, it's like if you were to go to DebateCon and say, hey, and they come to you and they said, hey, Clover, I want you to be here for the next one. We're going to set up a really cool debate with you and a lesser known channel, right? Whatever. And you said, yeah, that sounds fucking great, man. I'm in. And they, for the next 6 months, they're plugging your channel. You're in the intro and outro reel on every MDD debate, and they're driving all this traffic to your channel. And then 2 weeks from the event or week of the event, you're like, yeah, I'm not fucking going. I don't give a shit. Fuck it. Yeah. I've reaped all the benefit that I'm going to reap or that I need to reap, whatever. Yeah. So Wicked Wally says for $5 American, so close to Canada though. In all humbleness, I probably would have been a better substitute than anything, I think he means anyone, available if I had made it, but you didn't. You didn't make it. You could have driven. You could have. You breaking my heart.
Well,
Break.
speaking of events,
Yes,
the
sir.
GOA show in Knoxville, media registration is already open for that.
Oh,
But
send me the links, bro. I'll register
general
for that shit.
general admission opens March 1st, just so everybody knows.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, send
I
me
can't remember the dates. It's in August, but I can't remember exactly when.
Shoot me the info via the Discordo.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, let me
and
go
I
find
will
it.
get there. I will go there. Vlad the Impaler has taken over for Anson. Now we're going to have some intelligent conversation. He was a well-read man.
Yeah, he really knew how to put the pikes down.
Well,
So
he
anyway,
made sure everybody got the fucking point.
There we go. I was about to say a crit. Nice one.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. So what else about DebateCon? I mean, so we're gonna do a lot with DebateCon 6. I think they're gonna call it. What I'm trying to do, and I'll be very, I'm public about it, fucking everything. I don't want to take over DebateCon. I just want to take over the operations for DebateCon. One of the things that is fucking annoying about any kind of convention or anything like that is when the schedule changes and those cock-biting motherfuckers don't send out batch emails to let you know, hey, we're starting early, or hey, we're starting late, or hey, just so you know, debate A has been superseded by debate B. So if you want to watch debate B, it's not at 10 a.m. now, it's at 8 a.m. So you need to get your shit over there. Nothing pisses me off more than that kind of shit right there, because it's so easy to do.
Yeah, that's great, but it would be even better, and I'm spoiled, I think, just by different shows, but it would be even better if they were using text alerts for that.
I like text, but I just know for a fact, because I bought tickets, that everyone that got a ticket, everyone that signed up, everyone that got a pass, they had their email.
Well, you could do email too, but you could have a thing when people sign up that say, hey, schedules are subject to change and blah, blah, blah. If you want text alerts for this. And the reason I say that is there's people, and I'm this way. I rarely do I check email on my fucking phone. I just don't.
Yeah.
And I know and I'm pretty.
Yeah, I do.
So
but at any rate, but the thing is that there were no alerts.
Yeah.
So literally, a guy would just walk out of the room and go, "Oh, hey, by the way, so and so debate has been rescheduled."
Was this the first one or the second one, or like how deep are
fifth
they?
One. It's the fifth one. But
wow.
But they had, but a lot. I think the rest have just been even worse. They said that this time, at least they hired professional sound and light crews.
Yeah, I'm telling you, on
I
guess it was the Modern Debate channel. The audio fucking was shit. It sucked. Like I couldn't. I had my speakers all the way up, could barely fucking hear it at times. I mean, it was terrible. It's fucking awful.
Yeah, this year supposedly audio was way better than last.
I'd hate to fucking hear it on the other ones, and there's probably video or something up of it. But holy shit, it was not good this time. Part
of the problem is that James, I think he's the owner of Modern Day Debate, or at least he's the spearhead. Mm-hmm. He is not a detail-oriented person.
Yeah, you got to have that for events, big time.
And so I'm really going to. I hope to take over. I'm going to build a staff. I'm going to do it for free. But I expect some of the staff to get paid. But there were just all kinds of bullshit things that could have been. It could have been just way better. One of the most annoying things. We'll get into that later. The other most annoying thing was that fucking Wicked Wally couldn't get on a goddamn airplane. How hard is that?
Wouldn't it be more cost
walk
effective?
Walk up the fucking stairs.
Wouldn't it be more cost effective to just build something to compete with them, since they suck so much, and replace them?
No. I costed that out, and I don't think so. I don't know. I've been looking at it, and I've been listening to like Jim Bob and some other. The food was shit, Ghost. We'll talk about that on Saturday, but Andrew was a little off, but he not by much. It was really fucked up, man. I mean, look, some people just don't do this, right? And they don't coordinate. They're not used to doing things. Like one of the things that
event setups is a whole event stuff is a whole other ball of wax. So any events that I know of, yes, okay, it's headlined. SHOT Show, for example, is National Shooting Sports Foundation. It's put on by NSSF, but they bring in, hire out contract event crews and shit, right? Every show is that way. It's like, okay, this is a GOA show. This is the NRA show, right? Whatever it might be. But they bring in and contract out specific companies that's all they do is build out, and it has to do with what you're talking about, the details. Those companies that do that, they do that all the time. They know what little bitty things have to be done and you have to pay attention to. They've got the best people on their staff for doing those things and whatever. Now the drawback is that shit costs money, right?
Well, so here's the thing though, but a lot of things look, honestly, I think the food thing was a bad idea. The way they did it was a bad idea to do it the way they did it. It wasn't Subway sandwiches. It was the sandwiches that sandwiches and wraps that the hotel makes, right? And the hotel, they did have soda there. I heard Andrew say they didn't even have soda, but they did. They had water in it, but maybe not for the dinner the night before. I didn't eat the dinner the night before. I went out with Andrew, but definitely the lunch the following day. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't what I expected since I paid extra for it, right?
Some of those hotels where you have your events, right, or your event centers, depending on how you navigate the contract for the event, you can't bring in outside food. You have to utilize their service,
right? And I think that's part of it, but
that could have been a thing. They'll say, hey, if you want to bring in outside food, it's going to cost X number of dollars extra or some shit.
Sure.
Right?
But even if they had just brought in pizza, it would have been way better. And we'll get into that. We're going to cover all of that on Saturday, I promise. But one of the things that was really annoying. First of all, it was at the airport hotel, which wasn't actually at the airport. And the problem the idea was people could fly the stated idea, which was not true, was that people could fly into the Newark airport and just basically walk to the Newark Holiday Inn and not have to rent a car and not do all this shit. So nobody rented a fucking car and nobody was really expecting to Uber over. That would have been fine had someone had the common damn sense to go rent a van for the day and hire a driver at $20 an hour to just drive back and forth to the fucking airport and pick people up every 30 minutes.
So they didn't have shuttle service at an airport hotel? They didn't have shuttle service, or it wasn't?
Not specific to that hotel.
Wow.
So you would have had to have ridden to like all of the fucking hotels on the strip, which is still fine. And I'm sure people did that, but I mean, how fucking hard is it to it costs you a couple of $100.
Yeah.
And and all you have to do is tweet, text, email out, hey, if you're flying into Newark on Friday night or anytime Friday for the event, Saturday and Sunday, we're running a shuttle service between these times. The shuttle will be there about every 30 minutes. They're going to wait 5 minutes and they're gone. Be there, be square. We're at, whatever.
Yeah.
It would have been, and it doesn't have to be a special van. I mean, you're talking about picking up maybe 3-4 people at a time. There's a lot of fucking problems. We'll talk about the ones that I want to talk about on Saturday a little more. But
so what are we going to talk about now then?
Or hang on, we're going to get into it. Mr. Boulay says, Let's have the debate con in Nashville. I'll help. Nashville would be a great destination to host it. Yes, actually, I'm going to push for. I'm going to push for either Nashville or Hotlanta. I personally like the idea of Nash Vegas being that it kind of does it get. First of all, it's convenient for me, and if I'm the one doing the organizing, makes it easy. Second, it's relatively inexpensive. Flights come here all fucking day, every day. And while I know people want to do it on the West Coast, there's nowhere on the West Coast that doesn't suck donkey dick. And I don't really want to go somewhere that sucks donkey dick. So I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I'll take Glenn over in LA, man.
Right. Yeah.
I would agree with that, but Atlanta still sucks, man. That's where
Atlanta does suck.
Going to be this year, so and that's in April. So I'm looking at lodging, and I'm looking at
no. They're planning on having DebateCon 6 in October.
I said NRA is.
NRA, yeah.
April, and so I'm already looking at lodging and shit like that, and like it's a fucking nightmare. Like anybody that I know that lives there. Is like, here's the thing with Atlanta. It's like, it's pretty safe pretty much everywhere during the day, but at night it's pretty much fucked everywhere at night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's great.
Yeah, that's a true statement. The only reason I think Atlanta is I think that if you're on the outskirts of Hotlanta, you get away from the airport a little bit. It's a little nicer. There's a lot of shit to do. I like Nashville. Nashville, you can make it a week-long fucking thing if people wanted to because there's so much to do in the area, and Nashville's used to hosting these kinds of things. But I think it'll probably be another fly-in Friday, leave Sunday night or Monday morning. It's going to be a weekend thing. My ideas are pretty simple. What I would like to see, I'll just go over it. Fuck it. This isn't top secret information or anything. First, I want to take over the operations. It's not that James's people aren't capable. I just don't think he has people. So,
yeah.
And the people he does have are moderators and camera guys and things like that. They're not organizers.
Yeah, I don't know the guy, so I'm not.
He's a director of psychology. Well, he's a professor of psychology.
I get it. I'm just saying I don't know the guy, right? So
yeah.
So I'm not throwing shade or hate, but
I'm definitely doing it.
What it sounds to me like with this, if he's 5 years in and there's still all of these hangups and all of these issues, it just sounds to me like he doesn't have or is devoting the right resources to it. Is all it is.
It's not that the East Coast is gay, but the East Coast in October, you could literally have either beautiful fall weather or fucking snow.
Yeah.
I don't want any of that shit.
Yeah. Midwest, same way.
Midwest is the same way. So basically the idea is that I already have a venue in mind in Nashville that I was going to use for my event. And it actually has podcast studios in it. So someone like CloverTack could go in and rent this studio for like an hour and do an hour-long update show to his audience and not fall off the fucking earth for a week or weekend, or have to try and broadcast from a hotel room, right? This is like a professional fucking studio. Good mics and everything, good sound, everything. So I'm trying to push for this. And basically what I want to do, what I'm looking at, do it in Nashville, not in an airport, hotel, convention center. There's a bunch of different facilities that we could use. Not really sure which one. I'm going to get a hotel to kick in some, give us a better rate a block rate on rooms. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I thought was fucked up as hell is that nobody even knew about DebateCon until like 2 weeks out. Now, I don't know about I know that for me, that's not a big deal. I just say, fuck it, I want to go do it. But for most fuckers, 2 weeks isn't enough time. You can't get off work. You can't arrange anything. You got to get, some people have to get their kids taken care of, arrange babies.
And this is why with most events, you brought this up earlier. This is why with most events, the planning stages start before the event for the current year usually hasn't even taken place yet, right? And
Yeah.
so that way you have a location, you have a date, at least you have a location and a date somewhere at that 8 to 9 months out mark, right? Definitely by 6 months.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, look, you need to start planning today. I have a call scheduled Friday with James. We're gonna work on this.
Good.
So here's ZD Den. So there were about 120 people that showed up. The room, the main debate room, which was dumb as fuck, but the main debate room had seating for probably 80 people. It was never full. Not even one time. That's bad optics right out of the gate. If it's literally like as a debater, being in a debate and watching the viewer count go to zero.
Yeah.
Well,
one of the things all those empty fucking chairs.
One of the things. So this is through the Modern Day Debates YouTube channel, and so one of the things that they should have done was set up a dedicated booth to network all of those people and have dual streams with everybody that came there, whether they were debating or not.
No. That was one of the things that they absolutely prevented. There was no live streaming.
That's what Anson was saying. That's
that's the dumbest thing. They should have gone the opposite of that and like full bore, like facilitated absolutely everything and emphasized all the people coming that were streamers, even if they weren't participating. This would be a great opportunity to get access to everybody else's channels.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So
anyway.
Yeah. So I don't disagree with that. I think that they want to maintain control of their product, which I understand that. I'm not really sure how to deal with that yet, and I don't know how flexible they are on it. I don't give a shit about that. That's outside of the operations end of it. As far as ticket sales go, I would like to see legitimately. I think they probably sold 300 tickets. I'd like to sell at least 400 tickets. I think the way they did VIP was dumb. It did not work very well. I've got some answers for that. I think that having one debate at a time, basically having 10 debates over 2 days, stupid. Having 3 times that number, having 30 or basically having 30 debates, or let's just scale it back to half. Having 15 debates over 2 days, much better. I would like to have 2 to 3 debates going on at any given time in smaller rooms with the feeds and everything going.
So GunCon this last year, GunCon happens in the middle of fucking nowhere, Iowa, and in when was it? June maybe. It'll be June or July this year. But that's where it happens. So not in a big city. Like you got to fly into Des Moines, rent a car. Like it fucking sucked. We drove, so it's not a big deal. But if you flew, it sucks. Logistically, it's in a horrible fucking place. It really is. You're talking about maybe a 400,000 subscriber channel that put together GunCon, and they surpassed the 1,000 people capacity this year in their 3rd year there. So I don't know what size channel Modern Day Debate is, but I know what size Andrew is.
It's a massive channel, but again, dude, they fucked everything up.
Dude, why bro. You're saying 400, and I'm like 15.
Yeah, but I understand. I'm saying 400 because it's a debate. It's debates, not guns, and that's the deal, right? Like you're gonna have to get people
hardcore fucking fans. There's got to be.
Yeah, but are there? But hold on. Well, that's a good argument. I'll get back to that. But I would like to see 200 people per day for 2 days. For a 2-day conference, that's not bad, especially going from where they are now. So the second thing, the biggest problem I saw was they didn't start selling the tickets early enough. They didn't shut the ticket sale. They shut the ticket sales down in a very weird way, and then it was just wrong. It was just fucked up. Yeah. Again, they're not operations people. They don't understand operations. They don't. And James admitted it to me. Like he's like, I don't know about any of this. Like so what my idea is I want. What I really want is I want 25, like strong debaters of all, liberal, libertarian, agnostic, super Christian, all of it. I want all of it. I want all types, all walks. Andrew, Destiny, if he's out of jail, whatever. 25 mainliners, and their opponents will be people who have slightly or maybe even much smaller channels, right? 20 for sure, 5 alternates, because people fucking suck.
Yeah.
And people get sick, and their parents have problems, and their car breaks down, and whatever the fuck. People have problems, and so you need 5 alternates, right? Like, and legit pre-qualified alternates. I would like to do 3 debates at a time, 2-hour debates, 2 to 3 hour debates, and run 3 rooms. I want to have cameras. They don't have to be fancy cameras, just like some Elgato or whatever fucking whatever the fuck I got around here. But the cheaper cameras in all 4, facing in the back of the room, facing the stage, and maybe facing the crowd, elevated so that you can get that picture of people milling around before and after the debate, and during debate everybody's seated, right? And I would really like to have it in to where we have actual full rooms with people standing along the walls.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
which means you would do smaller rooms, but yeah.
Right. I want to have smaller. The reason for that is optically it makes people believe that it is a bigger event than it is. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want some actual VIP perks. I want T-shirts that people will actually want to buy ahead of time and wear at the event and have them at the event. I mean, there's a lot of things that are just so simple that anybody can do it. And literally, we have till October, so it's not a lot of time, but we have enough time. If I can get James on board and he gives me some idea of what budget he wants to work with, and again, I'm going to work for free. I'm going to try and get money for at least 2 helper people, not a lot of money, just something, something appropriate to help scheduling and making phone calls and shit like that. And then I want to burn this into the ground, man. I want to make it just a killer fucking event that people will literally say, fuck, I wasn't there. And one of the biggest things is I want an outside debate space. Away, like the best debate of the weekend, other than Andrew's couple and maybe Witt-Sittit's debate with Brianna Wu. But the best debate was happening out in the hallway.
Yeah,
it was fucking great. It went on for hours, and it and so I feel like that. If we just get the basics of the basics, then it'll be fucking awesome.
Well, hey, that is definitely awesome that you're gonna go over to DebateCon, be able to network with James, to be able to figure out how he can be able to better his event grid.
Well, we can hope. $9.99 comes in from Mikey Balls. I'm now also an investor with Grid on this. I'm not sure. None of my money is going into this yet, but we'll see. I just really feel sorry. So, and here's the thing with the Crucible not putting on as many debates, because Andrew's very busy and Andrew has kind of a trajectory that he's going in, that's fine. And Modern Day Debate has been kind of taken over. James owns it now, and it's more of a and one of the things we're going to talk about is our debate subjects, because James having a full day of religious debates was dumb, especially basing it around any Muslims, because they never show up. So we just don't do that ever again. I don't know if I'll be able to convince them of that, but I want to. But having worldview debates, and having actual like current event topics, like is Trump a narcissist, right? Like,
well, at the very least, you got to break it up, right? You have to have something like one that follows, like it needs to be totally different, right? And then the next one, totally different and totally different.
I like modern day debates format. I think that of all of the debate channel formats that are kind of trying to pimp themselves out right now, I like modern day debate kind of the best, right? And I think that they need some help, right? Like I think their moderators suck balls. I think that honestly, I would not choose to debate on modern day debate because I definitely wouldn't debate a liberal on modern day debate because the moderators interfere too much, and it would piss me off to no end, and I would find that to be very gay, and I don't like that. So, but as a platform, it just needs some fine tuning, and it'll be I think the next. I think it will regain its place as the debate sphere, whatever, out there. Maybe not. I could be wrong. I've been fucking wrong before. What was the debate in the hallway about? So it was this guy. I don't know what his ethnicity was. I want to say he was like probably like Christian Armenian or maybe mixed with some Indian or I don't know. Whatever. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, so this dude proposed that all religion is bad, inherently bad, and that people could solve their suffering. People do not need to suffer, that they can solve it themselves. We as humans can be happy without religion and have great lives without religion, and that religion serves no real purpose except as a guidebook if you really want one, and nothing else. And he was debating atheists about this, like legit atheists were going on and on with him about this. It was fucking great. And I mean, literally, he debated, I promise you, he was there 6 hours. It wasn't really debating. He was really arguing, and he would move the goalpost around. I made a bunch of fucking jokes about how he should bring those goalposts back down from space because we're not on a Starship fucking Enterprise, and I can't go get those. There's a bunch of fucking things I said funny. And I tried to help him. I'm like, look, what's your position? And he couldn't define it. And I was like, all right, well, what do you think? And he gave it to me, and I said, okay, so that's your position. This is how you're going to debate with people. So the best debate of the weekend was that guy and all of the people just engaging with him. It was a shitty, it was great. But it was, at the same time, it was tragic. So the interesting thing is that I also think that there should be there should be an opportunity for non-debaters or new debaters to have a practice room where with make each one of the 25 master debater guys, girl, people, make each one of them do a half hour to an hour of instruction in debate. Come in and say, hey, this is what a logical fallacy is, and this is why you want to fucking avoid it if you can.
So for the hallway thing, what if you had another room?
That's what I'm saying. There needed to be, and the thing is
there's to be no debates in the hallways and that kind of shit. If you want to have it out with somebody else that's there, 2 attendees, whatever, go into this room and do
it. The thing is that you can't stop people from just sitting in a corner and debating. But this was it was great because it was out in public. It was generating a lot of interest as people walked by. But the hotel was getting pissed. They were literally walking by saying, they literally had James coming out and saying, guys, you gotta be quiet. You gotta tone it down. Which was stupid because it was drawing attention to the event.
Yeah.
Right. Like they were actually doing it backwards. Sarah G, you like my outfit? Thank you very much. My wife told me that I needed to be a little sharper on camera. The t-shirts weren't really cutting it. I added a jacket. So that's where we're at right now.
Well, hey, Grid, do you think there's a possibility that James could be able to join the stream on Saturday?
The dude was so damn dumb I couldn't even believe it. Which dude was? Oh, I am going to press X to doubt as of the best debate. Although being honest, the first Andrew debate was kind of shit. Oh, you mean Craig? Craig was cool, man. Craig's a good guy.
Yeah, did anyone see on X that he actually made a post saying that Andrew, Rachel, and the Crucible crew were very hospitable to him? That was definitely heartwarming. Like, that was a good sportsmanship right there, man. So I got.
Well, I mean, just literally, the guy debates flat earthers. So I mean, just having people that can form sentences is an upgrade.
Hey, flat Earth people are highly intelligent when compared to gematria people.
That's literally like saying this piece of shit's a better piece of shit than that piece of shit.
Jeez,
it's still shit. Yeah, no rebuttal on that one. We're not coming. So I'm going to.
What's up? Oh, yeah, finally, good. So, my bad. Let's see. So,
go ahead.
Clarification. You got to meet Andrew and Rachel over at Modern Day Debate. That was the first time meeting them. In real life. Was meeting Andrew and Rachel at Modern Day Debate the first time you got to meet him in real life, or
Yeah. I didn't even see Rachel. So I'm standing in line to get my credentials, and all of a sudden this woman just like hugs me out of nowhere. I'm like, I was like, the fuck, And then I realized it was Rachel, and she's like, "Hi, Grid," and I'm like, "Hi, what's up?" Man, that's pretty fucking funny. There was no mistaking Sarah. When I saw her, Sarah has this picture of where she took with me, where I have my arm like behind me because reasons. I did the Keanu Reeves thing. I don't. Because
and Jeff Klein from the Crucible crew, who got to be over there, he got into put his arm around Rachel Wilson, but had his hand sticking out, just doing the Keanu Reeves thing with him. Because Andrew was right in the back photobomb. He's like, stay away from my woman, Jeff. I'm telling you, man.
Oh no, I'm talking about Sarah, the Raging Tomato.
Right.
But no.
So, is Rachel a little person in real life also?
5'2". No. Sarah, Rachel's like 5'4", 5'6", somewhere along there. Yeah. Yes, she's still small. She's tiny. They're tiny people. So.
Yeah, guy. Well, thanks for having me on, Grid, and thanks for having Halsey on the show. I gotta go do something, man. I gotta go expose Michael Sartain on the next space, man. So I'm gonna
Michael Sartain.
Oh yes, man. I got words for him, man. So I'll see you guys later.
All right, don't get banned. Have fun storming the castle.
Bye, Siege.
Yeah. Siege.
Did I meet David Cooley? Probably. Met everybody. I bet. So Alex Stein and I I literally told Alex Stein I'd pay him $5. Well, all right. So let me back up. I told Alex Stein I'd pay him $1 for every time he said something to Jasmine Jafar. And he said, "Pay me $5, I'll call her a whore." And I'm like, "Okay, $5 every time you call her a whore." I owe him $65.
That sounds like a fun game. Oh man,
because he would just sit there. He was just working it in wherever he could, and I'm literally like with my son. I'm like, and I owe him $65. Just want everybody to know that. Alex Stein was fucking hilarious. That dude's amazing. Amazingly funny. But yeah. Yeah. So I forget what it was. I said $1 every time you call her a degenerate. And he's like, $5, I'll call her a whore. And I'm like, done.
She's not really a whore though, right? She just does OnlyFans.
Just does OnlyFans. She sells her butthole on the internet. So yeah, it's pretty much a whore.
She's not like IRL, like, cash.
I mean, far as I know, I don't know. Best $65 I spent that weekend. It's true. It's probably true. It was great watching him do it too live, like right there. And then, so one of the best things of the weekend was Wit Sidit and Brianna Wu. So first of all, literally, I don't think Wit Sidit called Brianna Wu she, her, girl, lady, miss, whatever. None of it. He literally was like, dude, come on, dude. Bro. It was just like all male stuff. So, Tiggy Tack, she was totally prepared. He was totally prepared to be a douchebag, and he was. The best part of it, I don't know how this came off on camera. So Brianna's sitting there, and Witsit's sitting there like facing forward, facing the crowd, and Brianna is like looking at the side of Witsit's face, and what she would try, whatever. The dude would sit there and try and make a point to Witsit or would make some rebuttal attempt or whatever. And Witsit would literally list the fallacies in order that they were perpetrated. It'd be like appeal to authority, ad hom, red herring. Would you please answer the question I asked you? It was fucking great, dude. It was amazing to watch. And the only thing that Brianna could do was after he's talking to Witsit, and Witsit's finally like, just answer the fucking question 10 times. Brianna would turn to the camera, knowing where it was, and say, I just know that I had it so tough growing up, and you just don't know how these poor children are affected in their early lives. It's a tragedy, giving all of the bullshit, while still being Brianna Wu, who, by the way, nobody should ever take this person seriously after Gamergate. Everyone forgets the Gamergate thing that Brianna Wu perpetrated. It was literal projection. It was literally like an appeal for sympathy was what it was. It was great. If Witsit was masterful. It was a masterful display of how to handle that style of debate tactic. Can't say enough good things about the young man. He did amazing work. I don't think he's that young, to be honest, but it was absolutely was fucking tremendous. So, yeah. Destiny's vacuum cleaner. Fuck yeah. The what do you call it? The keeper of all things from what is not Project Victory? It's Progressive Victory. Yeah, Progressive Victory. Yeah. So anyway, Clover Tack, I know I'm boring the fuck out of you.
I'm asleep. Yeah. Put me to sleep, Pucker.
Yeah, that dude you're talking about worked with that Sink Eager guy on a PAC to get Trump unelected. No,
that's a real thing. Progressive Victory. Literally, that dude's the one that went to Destiny and got Destiny on board, and Destiny brought on not so erudite, Pixie, Connor, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, he's
that
run
I
for
can never
Congress
remember.
a few times.
So yeah, it was dumb. It was absolutely dumb. So yeah, I'm actually really surprised that Furby hasn't been in to take up and sweep for Brian Wu. Brian who? Brian Yu?
Yeah, he was in the chat a little while ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Rob versus Connor is not only entertaining, it's instructional. So yeah. Looks like a recovering method. I can't disagree with that. I do believe that there are drugs involved there. Not sure which ones. Yeah. You ran Mellotron off. No worries, bro. Good work. Good work. I will give you a crisp high five when I see you. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just been a great week, to be honest. It's one of those things where I missed you guys. Certainly I missed streaming and being able to talk shit online for money. But I was talking shit in person for no money, but with a purpose. And hopefully I can make DebateCon great again. I really do think I actually really the amount of coolness that could happen, right? Where we could get Fredo Fonzarelli versus, say, Lactoid, which probably is not a good matchup, but whatever. We could make that happen. Get Lactoid. We could get and what the other thing about modern day debate is they seem to have a blacklist, and I need to cut that blacklist up and tell them to fuck that shit right off. Because you can't blacklist debaters just because you don't like the positions they take. It's one thing if they drop trowel, slap their schlong on the camera, something like that. Whip boobies out. It's one thing if they do something that's totally TOS like that, especially on purpose. It's another thing that you just don't like their position, or you just think that they're too strong, and nobody can beat them. Like one of the problems I think that, one of the things that I think is a problem for Rob Noor is there's this bullshit because he fucked up Brian Wu or Brianna Wu, whatever fuck. I've heard it both ways, but because Rob fucked that dude up during a debate or something one time, not even really meaning to. Wu wants an apology, and wants an apology, and Rob said, "Fuck that! I'm not doing that shit." So Wu said that there were so many, apparently, literally told Rob Noor that there were so many debates he could have been a part of, but torpedoed it because of because Rob will not make an apology. So we got to get rid of the black. If there is such a thing as a blacklist, I got to cut that shit up. I want Rob Noor there. I want Fabian Liberty there. I want all of the badasses there, because how the fuck do you not? I mean, you want people to spur. You want people to. I mean, I don't want a polite, Oxford fucking debate. one of the best debates and probably one of the most watched was Alex Stein and the moon landing debate against FTFE Craig. That was fucking legend, dude. Alex Stein sitting there yelling at Craig that he's an idiot, like, we can't even fucking go to the moon. Whatever. It was fucking awesome. and we need more of that shit, not less of it. So that's what I.
That moon landing thing, man, I don't get that either. That's like the gematria people. They just have all kinds of like delusion that they're living in, and you can't crack through it because no matter what facts you provide or evidence, they're like, well, that was contrived, and it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Dude, it was one of the few times I agreed with FTFE over the weekend, is because he's actually a physics guy. Like, he's actually a scientist, like legit. Like, he was a nuclear engineer. Like, motherfucker knows what he's talking about. And Alex is like talking about this shit about how we can't even, send a fax, and how do we get to the fucking moon? And I'm like, and he's talking about how they couldn't carry enough fuel. And I'm like, well, once you're in fucking space, you don't need the goddamn fuel, and and he's talking about landing it and how the dust wasn't kicked around, and they've already done all the experiments on the video and stuff, and that shows that it's because it's low gravity, no atmosphere, it's in a vacuum. That's just how things react in a vacuum with low gravity. And then the last part was, well, it needs all this fuel to take off from the Earth. Why doesn't it need it from the moon? And I mean, like, well, the escape velocity on the moon has to be like 10 miles an hour or something. It's 1/6 the gravity with no friction from an atmosphere. Like, there's no friction. There's zero friction. So, Alex got to take an L on that. Well, he made great arguments, and unfortunately, Craig did not make as good an argument as he should have. The lander was tiny. Yeah, the lander supposedly is like super fucking tiny. But look, Alex made a more convincing debate. FTFE, and he's a little off his game, I think, after getting just eviscerated by Andrew. But it was great. It was a great event. And that's what you need. You need more people. You need the evisceration. Having somebody like, Gnostic Informant just sit there and nod along with Andrew. The Gnostic Informant Andrew debate was literally the dumbest thing I watched all weekend. It was literally like Andrew was just like talking to a child. And Gnostic Informant's a smart dude, but he just wasn't. He just wasn't up for it. So
most people would look like that against someone like Andrew. You have to be like Scott, like Fabian Liberty, someone who is well practiced and highly intelligent in order to even come close to competing.
Yeah. So Gnostic Informant had no prep. He was a fill-in. He was last minute. He had no fucking clue. He even said, if you watch it, he's just like, I don't know. I've got some notes here, but I haven't really prepared for this debate. I'm gonna get my ass handed to me. and he knew it, but it was fine. No, I think Gnostic Informant's a great. He has good potential in a debate, but when you're debating Andrew, and Andrew's had a week or weeks to prepare, and you have zero time to prepare, you're getting your dick handed to you. I'm just telling you, it's just what's going to happen. So, but yeah, so the next debate con, if I can get involved, if I can get, I would really, if nothing else, I'd like to be an advisor. I would really like to take over the operations side and just relieve James of that responsibility. I'll let him handle the production side. He can do all the promotion shit. I mean, I'll do a little bit of it, but he can do whatever, he can run the debates over the weekend. I just want the operations so that I can make it a badass event for everyone and have everyone talking about it for the next 2 years. So, yeah. That's true. Silvar Ogre, so I was at the table when that happened. Andrew got fucked, and this is how that happened. And this goes back to one of my main complaints was the lack of fucking communication. So they had set up this Jubilee style 1v4 debate thing for Andrew and Rachel. It was supposed to take place in the afternoon. Andrew was supposed to be able to sleep in until noon. Nobody expected to see him until 1 o'clock, maybe 12:30, but we didn't expect to see him. Imagine my surprise at 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning as I'm sitting there getting my coffee. And here comes Andrew, and he looks pissed. And he's like, I've got to go fucking do this 1v4 thing right now. And I'm like, I'm fucked up. Like I'm super tired. I've had no sleep, no nothing. And and so Andrew he was pissed. He was like super pissed. So I didn't see him again until lunchtime. He comes in and he comes over and sits down at the table I'm at. And it's Gnostic Informant, Sarah, my son, me, and somebody, I forget who else was at the table. Andrew comes in. And Gnostic Informant's like, hey, Andrew's like, dude, I am like fucking hungover. I am fucked up. And Gnostic Informant's like, here's liquid IV. Just need a bottle of water. Andrew went and got a bottle of water, poured it in, shook it up, drank it. It was awesome. He was wrong. The sandwiches were from the hotel kitchen or whatever that they do there. They sucked. It was like a Subway sandwich. It was literally like they had got the massive 3 foot long just fucking sandwiches or whatever, Heroes, and it is just fucked up. And it was you had the same exact Caesar wraps that you could walk out and buy in the hallway. It just was not what you would think of for a VIP ticket lunch, right? So, yeah, it was bad. Hey guys, we're creeping up on the end of the show. Matter of fact, we are fucking at the end of the show. Clovertack, give us an outro, bro, and let us know who you are, where you can be found for the people who don't know who the mighty Clovertack is.
I like the people that don't know. That works out great for me. So if you want to find out, then people can just find out, I guess.
Search Clovertack.
I don't know why you brought me up. It's because you kept saying we weren't going to talk about this. We weren't going to talk about this.
Well, I wanted to talk about guns, but you didn't know. I mean, normally, I can't shut you up about guns, and tonight
I was being polite. So maybe
I know.
I got a novel fucking idea, Grid.
Yep.
We do that shit internet space at some point.
Sure.
How does that sound?
Somebody will have to show me how to do that.
Yeah, that's easy.
All right, cool. All right. What about Tig Old Biddies down there?
Yeah. So I got very little to input on this stream, and I feel kind of bad because I didn't have much to say, but there wasn't really anything that was speaking to me except all the Jewish jokes that I had prepared that fell flat. So
yeah, he appreciated those. I could tell.
Yeah, I'll work on that next time he comes up. I'll do twice as much. But yeah, thanks for having me up, Grid. Y'all have a good night.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great show tonight. I want to really, give a shout out to Halsey English, who came on to the show. He was our first guest, and he did a great job. He's a great human being. And, should probably go check out his stuff. Although he's not very active on his channel, he is doing the X Spaces, and you should go check it out. As far as me, I will be back again live tomorrow noon till 3. We will be talking business stuff and some financial stuff and whatever else we want to talk about. I'm not going to do a redirect tonight. I'm fucking tired. I'm not going to go look anywhere. Ballsy English, I like that. That's fucking rad. And I'll see everybody in a little over 12, well, right at 12 hours, something like that. And you guys are legit. You got been a great crew tonight, great crowd, a lot of good input. Glad for everyone who stopped by, and I hope you guys enjoyed the music ensemble that I put together for the intro to the show. It just kind of threw that together. I thought it was cool. And in the meantime, while you guys are thinking about that, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. You guys be cool. Wear glasses if you need them, and get the fuck off my lawn, you deadbeat.